Chapter 3003. Xiao Fei almost jumped down with her. However, when he reached the edge of the cliff, he looked down and saw Lu Yin had used a zipline to hang herself in the air. Then she slid down the zipline bit by bit and checked down. Lu Yin, little bastard, just you wait. Xiao Fei was relieved when he saw that she was fine. Then he remembered that the cold and taciturn Psycho Qiao had cursed for the first time. It was also the first time he called Lu Yin a little bastard. Lu Yin looked up at Xiao Fei, whose face was pale with fright, with a smile. Hee, little bastard, who are you cursing? Of course I'm cursing you, you damn girl. Xiao Fei really wanted to strangle Lu Yin. Yes, you're cursing me, you little bastard. Xiao Fei, at a time like this, she was still in the mood to play word games with him and take advantage of him. Only Lu Yin would do something like this. Then, Lu Yin carefully looked down at the rocks on the edge of the cliff. She wanted to see if there was a place to hide. Did Hua Xiqian do something when he jumped down with Huamin? But she found nothing. Well, if there was really something strange, Su Yu would have found it long ago and wouldn't have waited for her to show up. Until she reached the surface of the sea, Lu Yin stopped and paused for 5 seconds. Then, she jumped into the sea with a splash. If he didn't know that she was a good swimmer, Xiao Fei would probably be worried sick again. A few minutes later, Lu Yin climbed up along the rope and got up in no time. Xiao Fei hurriedly pulled Lu Yin, who was dripping wet, onto the bed. Psycho Qiao. Before Lu Yin could speak, Xiao Fei held her tightly in his arms. She almost couldn't breathe. Ahem. Damn you. Let go of me. Are you trying to kill me? Lu Yin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. In the future, if you do something risky like this again, do you dare to tell me in advance? Xiao Fei was so scared that his heart was about to jump out of his chest. He thought that Lu Yin had taken things too hard and jumped down to commit suicide. But after 10 seconds, he immediately lowered his head to check. With Lu Yin's ability, it wouldn't be hard for her to do this. Don't you know me best? How could such a small matter stump me? All right, I just made a discovery. What did you find? Xiao Fei let go of Lu Yin slowly. Hua Xiqian is really smart. There aren't any marks on the surface of the cliff, all the way to the surface of the sea, but there's something at the bottom of the sea. Seabed? Lu Yin nodded. There's an area less than 3 square meters below. The sea is very deep, like a whirlpool, but it doesn't look like a natural cave. It looks more like a man-made one. I went down the cave and found a cave inside. Not only is it big enough for 2 or 3 people, but there are other exits as well, Lu Yin said with a smile. Xiao Fei immediately understood. I see. Hua Xiqian sure is smart. Does that mean Sister Mian is fine? Of course. My sister is very lucky. I'm sure she'll be fine. Lu Yin had long suspected that it was Hua Xiqian's doing, but after confirming it herself, she was even happier. The question is, how did Hua Xiqian take Sister Mian away? Where did they go? Xiao Fei asked. That's what worries me the most. Hua Xiqian's plan is so meticulous that it's not strange that Yin Ruoshi doesn't know about it. But I don't think he trusts anyone, right? Ian probably doesn't know either. I think I'm going to meet someone now. Boo! Xiao Fei looked at Lu Yin in confusion. Chapter 3004. Su Yu. You want to see Su Yu? Yes. After my sister and brother-in-law got into trouble, Su Yu handled a lot of things. I think you should have a lot of the information I need. But does Su Yu know who you are? Xiao Fei thought that the fewer people who knew about Lu Yan's identity, the better. After all, she was being hunted by people everywhere. He doesn't need to know who I am. He just needs to know that I want to help him. Then, Lu Yin put on her windbreaker and walked down the mountain. Despite her young age, Lu Yin was very efficient in her work. Meanwhile, on a deserted island, Huamin slowly opened her eyes. To be honest, the moment Hua Xiqian jumped down with her in his arms, she thought she was going to die. Huamin, who usually didn't even dare to ride roller coasters and drop towers, was dragged down to die together with someone. It felt like she had come into contact with death in an instant and didn't even have time to say her last words. Then, her mind went blank. She couldn't remember what happened next. Huamin opened her eyes and saw a wooden roof. Then, she slowly looked around. He discovered that this was a small wooden hut. The decoration was simple, but very warm. There were a few pots of flowers on the windowsill. She was lying on a thick mattress under the bed with a floral quilt. The pillow under her head was also very retro. It was the kind of pillow that was made of wood. This place didn't look like heaven at all. So, Huamin thought that maybe she wasn't dead yet. Could it be that she had transmigrated or something? She was really afraid that she had transmigrated to ancient times. It would be better for her to die. Mian, you're finally awake. The man who opened the door saw Hua Min's eyes open and immediately smiled. The moment she heard Hua Xiqian's voice, Hua Min's heart fell to the bottom again. Hua Xiqian, you're not dead yet. Hua Xiqian was wearing a simple white sweatshirt and brown cotton pants. There was a hint of China style, but more of a rural feeling. It was just my plan, he said. Neither of us is dead. Where's this place? Where did you take me? Looking at the unfamiliar environment, Hua Min was very conflicted. This is a very place where no one can find us. It's a deserted island. You are a psycho. Upon hearing that it was a deserted island, Hua Min collapsed again. I was supposed to take you to my private island. There's a mansion, a garden, maids, gardeners, and a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. It's like heaven, but that island isn't safe yet and will be discovered. So, I plan to stay here for 3 to 5 years. When Qin Shu and Su Yu give up looking for you, and everyone thinks that you're really dead, I'll take you back to that island. Okay? As Hua Xiqian spoke, he squatted down and looked gently into Hua Min's eyes. He spoke as if he was coaxing a child. Hua Xiqian, what's the point of doing this? You're imprisoning me? Hua Min was very angry and wanted to resist, but he couldn't summon any strength. No, this isn't imprisoning. Mian, this is companionship. I'm the only man who can be with you for the longest time. As he spoke, he placed his big hand on Hua Min's shoulder. Go away. Don't touch me. Hua Min struggled emotionally. Be careful, you're pregnant. Hua Xiqian reminded gently. Hua Min immediately looked at him in alarm and surprise. Chapter 3005. Don't look at me like that. I've known for a long time that you're pregnant. Upon hearing Hua Xiqian's words, Hua Min subconsciously reached out to protect his child. Don't worry, I won't hurt him. Upon seeing that Hua Min didn't say anything, Hua Xiqian continued. Mian, we've already left that dangerous place. From now on, it's just the two of us on this island. I'll let you give birth to the child safely, so you can live here with me, okay? Hua Xiqian, are you crazy? Hua Min couldn't take it anymore. I am crazy. I've been crazy for many years. Mian, it doesn't matter if you want to or not. You're living here with me. You have no other choice. This is an uninhabited island that isn't even on the map. Plus, I've installed a signal jamming device, so no one will find this place. Someone will bring us water and food regularly. We can live here without any worries. Isn't that great? No, I don't want to live here. I want to go home. Hua Min wanted to get up, but he realized that his body was limp and weak. So he lay back down on the pillow. What did you do to me? Hua Min glared at Hua Xiqian. You're pregnant right now. What else can I do to you? You've only been unconscious for 3 days and 3 nights. You don't have any strength left. What? I've been unconscious for 3 days and 3 nights? Hua Min was slightly surprised. Then, 3 days and 3 nights must have been a long time for Qin Shu, right? Mian, everyone thinks that we're dead. Qin Shu saw me jump off the cliff with your own eyes. There was tumbling seawater below. No one knows that we're still alive. I'm doing this for your own good. Did you know that Ian has been looking for you? I've been helping you hide this from him, but he's so smart, his lies were quickly exposed. Ian isn't as merciful as I am. He kills without batting an eyelid. Otherwise, your father and sister wouldn't be so scared of him. You make it sound like you're my savior. Hua Min lay flat on the pillow and sneered slightly. I just want to say that the situation is already like this. You should accept reality, okay? After speaking, Hua Xiqian turned around and poured boiling water into a wooden basin on the ground. Then, he added cold water and washed a white towel with the warm water inside. Then, he was going to wipe Hua Min's face. I said, get away, don't you hear me? Don't touch me. Don't, or I'll die. Huamin was also going crazy. When he found out that he was brought to an uninhabited island and that his signal was jammed, he was devastated. Huamin's heart was devastated and tortured. Finally, at this moment, he exploded. Huasiqian was indeed kind enough to wipe her face, but at this moment, she thought of her husband and daughters. That feeling was worse than death. If Qin Shu thought that she was dead, he would definitely be sad to death, right? And the twins, if they knew that they would never see their mommy again, they would definitely be sad. At this thought, Huamin broke down and cried for the first time. Huasiqian didn't dare to approach her anymore. Instead, he turned around and closed the door, leaving Huamin alone in silence. Luyan originally planned to meet Suyu. However, she received a tip from her subordinate at the last minute. "Boss, Ian will arrive in Sea City in 3 hours." After hearing this, Luyan's expression changed slightly. Her worst fears came true. At such a critical moment, Ian, that big bastard, actually came. "What's wrong?" Xiao Fei asked her from behind. "The weather's going to change." Luyan looked up at the hazy sky and said word by word. Chapter 3006. Hearing Luyan's words, Xiao Fei could guess what she meant. So, he didn't ask any more questions and quietly stayed by her side. Xiao Fei thought Luyan would ask Paul to set things up and then have a big fight with Ian. Unexpectedly, Luyan went to the Su family. Only Luyan could come and go as she pleased in a heavily guarded place like the Su families. Pudding and Little Bean were playing in the living room, while Lady Su and the maids were planting camellias in the living room. There were many fresh bouquets in the living room, while Little Bean played with Lady Su with a pair of scissors. Pudding sat quietly with her phone in her hand and seemed to have a lot on her mind. Luyan made a strange noise in the kitchen towards the living room. Unfortunately, Pudding was too focused on her phone and didn't hear it. "Damn it, my niece is really obsessed with her phone. It seems I need to play with something more advanced." Then, Luyan turned on her watch and quickly entered Pudding's phone. Pudding was browsing some news when she suddenly received a message. "Pudding, come to the kitchen." Pudding froze and immediately turned her head to see her auntie in the kitchen. She looked at everyone vigilantly. Seeing that no one was looking at her, she got up and ran to the kitchen. "Sis, where are you going?" Little Bean looked at her sister curiously. "I'm going to get a glass of water," Pudding said without looking back. Pudding couldn't suppress her excitement. After entering the kitchen, she even knew to close the door behind her. Then, she hugged Luyan's leg in her jeans. "Annie." Her voice was very small. "Good girl." Luyan hugged Pudding with one hand and lifted her up. Although he looked thin and weak, he was extremely strong. "Pudding, I have something to do. I might have to leave for a while." "Where are you going?" Pudding's eyes were filled with disappointment. "I have to deal with bad guys." "Then when will you come back?" Pudding pouted. "I'll come back when your daddy recovers." "But I don't want you to leave." Pudding grabbed Luyan's clothes tightly and said stubbornly. "I know, but Ani has to lure the bad guys away. Otherwise, Grandpa won't be able to operate on your father." "Is Grandpa coming back?" Pudding looked up, slightly surprised. Luyan nodded. "So, baby, what I'm about to say is very serious. You have to listen carefully, okay?" Luyan looked at Pudding seriously. "Go ahead, Annie." Pudding nodded. "Because Auntie and Grandpa's identities are special and cannot be mentioned to outsiders. When Grandpa comes back, Suyu will definitely not agree to let Grandpa operate on Daddy. At this time, you have to convince Suyu. Grandpa's medical skills are very good. You have to convince Suyu and not reveal Grandpa's identity. Okay? That does sound difficult," Pudding mused. "Of course. If it wasn't difficult, why would I give it to you? I know you're smart. Auntie, don't flatter me. I'm not as good as you say. I'm just a 3-year-old baby. I even have to drink milk every day." Luyan almost laughed out loud. If she wasn't afraid that the people in the living room would hear her, she would have laughed out loud. This kid had fast reflexes. If Annie doesn't lure the bad guys away, Grandpa won't be able to operate on your daddy. So, we have to work together. If you think it's impossible, Annie will think of a way. Luyan also felt that this was a difficult task for a kid. Chapter 3007. It's okay, Annie. I think I can handle it. Pudding said word by word. Are you sure? Yeah, I know how to deal with handsome Sue. Pudding looked confident. Okay, little Sundara, I'll leave this difficult task to you. Annie, how can I contact you if there's an emergency? Lu Yin waved the watch on her wrist. I've saved your number. I'll contact you if there's an emergency. Okay. Pudding didn't like to be in a passive position, but she was comforted by her auntie's words. Okay, I'll leave now. You can go back now. Little Bean will come to you soon. Auntie, Pudding held Lu Yan's hand reluctantly. Yeah? Be careful when you fight bad guys. Don't get hurt. Okay. Lu Yan's heart warmed at Pudding's words. On her way out, she was still talking to Xiao Fei. What do you think? When my sister comes back, I'll ask her to give me Pudding as my daughter. What do you think? Why? Xiao Fei was speechless. Because Pudding is very sensible and smart. When I came out, she told me to be careful. To be honest, I haven't had such a warm child in a long time. I don't think your sister will agree, Xiao Fei said. Why not? They're twins. Why did you have to break them apart? Also, Xiao Fei paused. What do you mean? Lu Yin looked curious. You like kids. Can't you give birth to one yourself? Why do you want to take your sisters? Lu Yin, damn it. Give birth to one myself? Do you want me to give birth to one with you? Lu Yin said in annoyance. Not with me? Do you think you can give birth to one yourself? Xiao Fei said nonchalantly. Xiao Fei, what do you mean? Damn it. You eat and drink my food and want me to give birth to your child. Why do I love you so much? Lu Yin rolled her eyes. Yeah, I don't know why I'm so charming that you love me so much. Fuck. Psycho Xiao, you're shameless. Lu Yin pointed at Xiao Fei and scolded him as they walked. Xiao Fei didn't react until they were out of the city. Are we leaving this place? Xiao Fei wondered. Yeah, but we're not done yet. Are we? There's no time. I have to lure Ian away first. Otherwise, how can Father come here? If Ian knows that Father is here, he'll bring the entire army here and start a massacre. I see. Xiao Fei nodded. But don't get me wrong. I'm not pitying you or feeling that you've implicated the people of this city. I'm just worried that Father won't be able to operate on brother-in-law in peace. I understand. You don't have to explain. Xiao Fei knew Lu Yin didn't mean what she said. Although he always said, what does the life or death of others have to do with me? But in fact, Lu Yin had never wrongly killed a good person. Although she was greedy for money, the business she took on was done by those desperados. The people he killed were either terrorists, anti-government leaders, or core members of evil cults. But she always acted as if she was a demoness, a homicidal maniac, and so on. It was as if she was trying to hide the purest kindness in her heart. Xiao Fei loved this side of Lu Yin. After all, she was still a simple girl. On Ian's private plane, Sir, we'll arrive at the destination in half an hour. The plane is landing now. Please hold on tight. Just as the subordinate finished speaking, the tail of the plane suddenly caught fire. The plane lost its balance and began to descend rapidly. Sir, bad news. Someone hacked our control system remotely. The pilot opened the door and shouted anxiously. Chapter 3008. A bunch of trash. Ian cursed in a low voice. A sweet and delicate oriental face appeared on the monitor in the cabin. Hello, Ian. Long time no see. Oh, it's my beloved baby. Ian looked at Lu Yan's screen and smiled evilly. Since we've been friends for many years, I want to give you a gift. How about a skydive? Are you surprised? Are you surprised? After Lu Yin said this, the plane began to shake violently. The pilot took out a set of emergency bags and handed it to Ian. Sir, the plane is about to crash. We have to do an emergency parachute jump. Although he was unwilling, he had no other choice to save his life. Under the help of his subordinates, Ian put on the parachute and stood up slightly. Have a safe trip? Then Lu Yin blew him a kiss. Ian's face turned from green to white. All these years, no matter who it was, they would be afraid when they heard Ian's name. Even the evil religious fanatic, Levis, was respectful when he saw him. Only Lu Yin, this Asian woman with delicate features, had never taken him seriously. She even played some deadly games with him from time to time, giving him surprises and surprises. He loved and hated her at the same time. Just like that, before Ian's plane reached the destination, Lu Yin hacked into the system remotely, causing the plane to crash. However, Lu Yin knew that this wasn't enough to kill Ian. For someone like Ian, it was too difficult to kill him. He had a lot of talents and masters around him. Even if he jumped into the sea, he would be fine, because in less than 10 minutes, reinforcements would come to his rescue. On a cliff not far away, Lu Yin looked at the crashed plane through her binoculars and snapped her middle and index fingers. Awesome, Yin, you're provoking Ian in public. Are you tired of living? Xiao Fei stood behind Lu Yin with his arms crossed. She was already being chased by Ian's men. Now that she didn't find it exciting enough, she deliberately blew up his plane. Xiao Fei felt that in the whole world, only Lu Yin dared to provoke Ian in public like this, because she was indeed a barefooted person who wasn't afraid of wearing shoes. No, I'm tired of living. Lu Yin turned around and chuckled. Xiao Fei, I'm just teasing you. Look at your expression. Don't look at me like I'm an idiot, okay? I'm just trying to distract him because Daddy is about to arrive. I can't let Ian know that Daddy is here. If he knows, the world will be in chaos. When will the professor arrive? They're on their way. They'll arrive in about 6 hours. Lu Yin glanced at her watch. To be honest, Xiao Fei was surprised. It was said that the professor didn't go to Russia when he was shot. Later, Qin Chu went and performed surgery on him. It wasn't because the professor was influential and couldn't be invited, but because the professor rarely left the United States. Without the protection of the Federation, people like the professor would be targeted by all the evil forces in the world. This was because the things he had developed could plunge the entire world into chaos. Power was always the deepest desire of human beings. Obtaining a professor was almost equivalent to obtaining the highest level of power. Therefore, he couldn't fall into anyone's hands. Even Lu Yin hadn't seen her biological father for more than 2 years. Did such a person really come to Sea City this time? Xiao Fei was looking forward to it. Chapter 3009. Outside the intensive care unit of the military hospital, the 4 bodyguards had been replaced by 6. 4 more people were added to the ward. Suyu always felt that he was careless, which was why he didn't notice that someone had sneaked in. Shun Mingxi held the little girl's hand and stood at the door. Young Master Shun, I'm here to see Qin Chu. Emichim, President Su told me. You can go in. Okay. Shun Mingxi opened the door and entered the ward with the child. Shun Mingxi and Qin Chu weren't close, but because of his relationship with Su Yu, he used to be friends with Huo Min and the others. Now that such a big thing had happened, it wouldn't be right if he didn't come. No matter what, Shun Mingxi felt that he should come and see him. So before he came, he called Su Yu and asked for Su Yu's permission before he came. Qin Chu was still unconscious and wearing an oxygen mask. Shun Mingxi was deeply touched. This godlike man could hover between life and death in an instant. It was obvious that humans were very fragile. If one's life was gone, how could one talk about love and fantasize about the next life? Uncle Shun, isn't this Pudding and Little Bean's father? Machem, what's wrong with him? He's sick. How pitiful. If Pudding and Little Bean knew, they would be sad, right? Yeah. Children without a father are pitiful. Shun Mingxi sighed. After hearing this, Tian Tian immediately held Shun Mingxi's hand tightly. Fortunately, Tian Tian still has Uncle Shun. The child's words pierced Shun Mingxi's heart slightly. Then why didn't Auntie Mian come? Auntie Mian, something happened and can't come back. If their father can't be cured without him, Auntie Mian won't come, and they won't have mommy. Then, are they also orphans? Shun Mingxi didn't answer. Children's questions were always naive, and children's words carried no harm. Uncle Shun, if the sisters' fathers aren't good, can you take in the 2 sisters? Shun Mingxi looked at Xiao Tian Tian curiously. He didn't understand why she would say that. Uncle Shun, Auntie Mian used to treat Tian Tian very well. She always bought me new clothes and food for Tian Tian. She even took Tian Tian home to play with the sisters. If something happened to them, the 2 sisters would be orphans. If they were sent to the orphanage, they would be bullied. I heard that the orphanage isn't a good place. Some vicious teachers would beat the children because the children, they're all orphans. Even if they were beaten, no one would care. I don't want the two sisters to be like that. I can eat less in the future. Uncle Shun, can you take the two sisters in and live with me? Shun Mingxi finally understood what Tian Tian meant. She wanted Shun Mingxi to take in the twins and not let them become orphans. Tian Tian, don't worry. Uncle Shun doesn't need to take care of Pudding and Little Bean. Many people are willing to take care of them, Shun Mingxi explained patiently. If Qin Shu and Huamin really couldn't come back, then Suyu would be the best candidate to take care of the twins, right? He wasn't their biological father, but he was better than their biological father. Just then, the door to the ward was pushed open. Shun Mingxi turned around and saw Suyu walk in. Shun Mingxi nodded slightly. Uncle Su, Tian Tian greeted him. Suyu nodded and didn't say anything. To be honest, he didn't like Hua Yin, so he didn't like her daughter. How's the investigation going? Any progress? Shun Mingxi asked. Chapter 3010. There hasn't been any progress. Su didn't seem to be in a good mood. What about the Hua Corporation? It's almost done. With Yin Ruashi's information, it shouldn't be a problem to investigate the Hua Corporation. Yin Ruashi is willing to help us. Shun Mingxi was surprised. Yes, with the current situation, she has no reason to hide. She's just a chess piece abandoned by Hua Xiqian. How could she not know her place? You're right. Shun Mingxi nodded. But I checked Hua Xiqian's assets. Something's not right. What's not right? The whole corporation is pretty much an empty shell now. I don't know where most of the money went, and I can't verify it. I suspect that he used other channels to transfer the money away. I've also checked the foreign accounts, and there's not a single cent under his name. Then he probably used another name. Shun Mingxi said. Yes, it seems that this psychopath has been preparing for this for a long time. After investigating this, Suyu was quite gratified. The plan was so thorough. If he knew how to transfer the money, he definitely wouldn't seek death. So if Hua Xiqian wasn't dead, then Huamin was also alive. Thinking that Huamin was still alive, Suyu was more or less gratified. We're here to see Qin Shu. We'll leave first. If you need me, contact me anytime. Okay. After Shun Mingxi left, he took Tian Tian to the psychiatric treatment center under the city bureau. Hua Yinyan had been locked up there and hadn't left. Shun Mingxi brought the child to visit her every few days. Recently, he hadn't come for about a week because he had been busy with work. According to the people in the city bureau, Hua Yinyan seemed to have regained her consciousness. Shun Mingxi wasn't sure if it was because the drug had worn off. Tian Tian, what do you want to say to Mom when you see her later? Shun Mingxi asked. I want to tell her that I miss her very much. All right, Uncle Shun, can I give my mommy a bite of the chocolate bar you bought for me? She should be very happy to eat something sweet. The little girl said. Sure. The policewoman brought them all the way to Hua Yinyan's room. She has been able to move freely these few days and can communicate normally. She even knows how to complain that our food is not good. I think she has almost recovered. Can you discuss with our director if you want to take her out? All right. I'll make plans for this later. Then, the policewoman opened the door and Shun Mingxi walked in with the child. Hua Yinyan was wearing a white hospital gown. She sat on the bed and looked out of the window. No one knew what she was thinking. She turned her head when she heard the door open. Her expression changed when she saw Shun Mingxi and her daughter. Mommy, Tian Tian ran over and hugged Hua Yinyan. However, it was obvious that she was indifferent. Shun Mingxi didn't know if she didn't react in time or if she was just cold. Mommy, look, what did I bring you? This is the chocolate bar Uncle Shun bought for me. It's very sweet. I saved one for you. Tian Tian placed the chocolate bar in her mother's hand carefully. To her surprise, Hua Yinyan threw it to the ground. What the hell is this? Give it to me, Mommy. Tian Tian looked at her mother pitifully and didn't know what to do. Are you my daughter or his daughter? Are you used to living a rich life and don't want to come back? Hua Yinyan looked at the child viciously and questioned. Chapter 30:11. I didn't. Mom, I didn't. Tian Tian was so scared that tears welled up in her eyes as she looked at her unfamiliar mother. Hua Yinyan, that's enough. Don't take it out on the child. She's innocent. Shinming-shi couldn't stand it anymore. Shut up. I'm disciplining my daughter. What right do you have to interfere? You're not related to the child. Hua Yinyan glared at Shinming-shi with hatred. You what? Do you think I don't know what you're up to? You're pretending to be a good guy. Others will think you're a righteous man who broke up with your mistress and took care of her child. That way, Wei Ying's heart will soften. She'll think you're kind and come back to be with you, right? How come you're so dark now? Shinming-shi sighed slightly. Looking at Hua Yinyan now, there was no trace of her former self. What? Did I say something wrong? This has nothing to do with Wei Ying. Don't drag her into this. Huh? Do you feel sorry for your ex-wife? Hua Yinyan, are you done? No. How could I say enough? Who did this to me? It's all your fault. You're all living a luxurious life. But what about me? All my family members are gone. They're all dead. My dad, my mom, my brother, they're all dead. Hua Yinyan roared. Even now, you still don't understand. You put all the blame on others. This is a sign of not taking responsibility. I won't argue with you about the ridiculous things you did in the past. There's no need to mention what happened between the two of us. However, Tian has always been the most innocent. Since you brought her into this world, you have to love her well. Don't instill hatred in her like what your mother taught you. If you do, her life will be ruined. Shinming-shi, don't talk about morality and benevolence. You're not that noble, are you? You just think that if you don't take care of Tian, people will criticize you behind your back. In order to maintain your image as a Prince Charming, you have to pretend to take care of my daughter, right? Is this kind of charity and pity meaningful? Is it tiring to put on a show? I'm not putting on a show. I really want to take care of Tian. Shinming-shi was furious. People like you always do things with a purpose. Could it be that you want to raise my daughter so that you could take advantage of her like an old cow? Huinyan finished her words. Slap. Shinming-shi viciously slapped him across the face. He slapped Huinyan's face mercilessly, making her face burn. As a mother, what are you saying in front of your child? Huinyan, you're crazy. Shinming-shi couldn't take any more of Hua Yinyan's vicious words. Only the devil would know how dirty her words were. Uncle Shun, Tian was terrified. At this critical moment, she ran to Shinming-shi, hugged his leg, and cried. Little bastard, I raised you for nothing. Now you're abandoning your own mother for someone who's not related to you by blood. Huinyan covered her slapped cheek and looked at her daughter viciously. Since you've recovered, you should treat your illness properly. With that, Shinming-shi walked out with Tian. Come back, you bastard. Huinyan suddenly stood up and tried to grab Shinming-shi like a madwoman. However, the policewoman stopped her outside the door and locked it. Huinyan's illness is not only good, it's even more important. I'll tell your director to continue the treatment here. Shinming-shi said coldly to the policewoman. Shinming-shi, you'll die a horrible death. You locked me up on purpose to take my daughter away. You'll get what you deserve. Hua Yinyan cursed madly behind him outside the Municipal Public Security Bureau. Tian, Uncle Shan will arrange for you to study abroad. Okay? Shinming-shi asked with tears in his eyes. Chapter 30:12. Tian immediately hugged Shinming-shi's thigh tightly. Tears streamed down her face. Uncle Shan, I don't want to go abroad. I want to leave this place. Don't kick me out, okay? I'm not kicking you out, Tian. I'm thinking about your future. I'll find someone to go with you and take care of you. Shinming-shi squatted down and explained patiently. After Hua Yinyan's vicious words, Shinming-shi did reflect on himself. With his identity and situation, would it be convenient for him to take Tian with him in the future? Would people gossip about him? Even if he didn't care about the consequences, what about the child? Would the child grow up to be traumatized? Shinming-shi didn't want his child's life to be ruined because of his momentary pity. He could pay for her and take care of her. But if she was sent abroad and had a nanny to study with her, her life would be much better than it was now. After all, for Tian, even if she went to school, she couldn't get rid of the trauma left by her mother. In a coffee shop, Auntie, you wanted to see me? Wei Ying was carrying the latest Chanel handbag and wearing an elegant off-white suit. Her long hair was dyed chestnut and fell down in a beautiful straight line. Sitting across from Wei Ying, Mrs. Shun had an illusion. She thought Wei Ying was much prettier than before she married Shin Mingxi. It seemed that a woman's appearance wasn't determined by her marriage. It was related to her mental state and her lifestyle. Now, Wei Ying was no longer full of doubts, cursing, finding fault, complaining, or even hating someone. After the divorce, she felt free. Ying, you're getting younger and younger. Mrs. Shun smiled. No, I'm just pretending to be young. I heard you just came back from a trip. Yeah, I've been addicted to traveling in the past 2 years. I go out with my friends from time to time. How are your parents? My dad's blood sugar is high, and he's careful with his diet. My mom is healthy and often plays mahjong with her. Your brothers are running the company now, right? Yeah, it's mostly my brothers. I don't care about the company. Ying, you and Mingxi, you've been apart for years. Have you ever thought about looking for him? Mrs. Shun's words caught Wei Ying off guard. To be honest, Annie, I didn't think that much. I heard from the people in the circle that you and the young master of the Yi family are very close. Mrs. Shun said it very vaguely. Obviously, everyone in the circle knew that Yi Zhaoyong was pursuing Wei Ying. Oh, we're just friends. He's a nice guy. Wei Ying commented as she lowered her head and took a sip of coffee, feeling a little embarrassed. Ying, actually, I have something to ask of you today. Auntie, please don't say that. After all, we used to be a family. If there's anything I can help you with, I'll definitely help you. Saying the word beg is too serious. Although Wei Ying used to be arrogant, she was still polite to her elders. This matter, I don't even know how to bring it up. To be honest, I know that asking for your help is a little unreasonable, but Annie really has no other choice. Auntie, tell me what it is, and I'll see if I can help. Wei Ying looked at Mrs. Shun. You must have heard that the little bitch Wei Yinyan's child is with Mingxi, right? Mrs. Shun said slowly. Yeah, I heard about it. Ying, can you help me persuade Mingxi not to take that burden with him? Mrs. Shun grabbed Wei Ying's hand and said in a pleading tone. Chapter 30:13. Auntie, how can I persuade him? You know Mingxi never listens to me. Wei Ying looked embarrassed when she said this. If she was really that charming, she wouldn't have to divorce Mingxi, right? No. Ying, you don't know. After Mingxi's car accident, he's changed. He seems to have seen through Hua Yinyan's character and changed his view of you. Especially after you gave him your blood. You're like his savior. I think if you ask him, he'll consider it carefully. Auntie, Wei Ying looked troubled. Look, Xiaoying, Mingxi is so busy with work now, and he still has to take care of a child. Not only is he being criticized behind his back by the people in our circle, but he's also being mocked for asking for it. After taking care of someone else's mother, he has to take care of someone else's daughter. No one would feel good hearing such filthy words. I've looked for him before and asked him to send the child to the orphanage, but he refused no matter what. He couldn't bring himself to do it. We're not heartless people either. It's true that the child is innocent, but whenever I think of her disgusting mother, I feel very uncomfortable. Don't you think so, Ying? Maybe Mingxi has his own ideas, Wei Ying said. I know my own son very well. He's just too soft-hearted. You're right. But Mingxi lived with that child for a while, and it's normal for him to feel pity for her. Wei Ying held the coffee cup and said slowly, I don't object to him taking care of the child, but can he do it in another way? I can help him find a family without a child and give a child to them. She'll live a good life. Isn't that a good idea? Mrs. Shin looked helpless. Then, I think the most important thing is his attitude, right? That's right. Mingxi is stubborn. Just like back then, he still insisted on getting a divorce even though we were so against it. Ying, Auntie is begging you. Can you say something? Auntie, I'll try my best. I'm afraid he'll dislike my relationship with Mingxi if I say too much. He won't. He will definitely consider your words. You are his savior. But I can't force him to think against his will just because I saved his life. Wei Ying smiled. Anyway, find an opportunity to tell me about it. It's the biggest favor you can do for me. Mrs. Shun was selfish. In order to prevent Shin Mingxi from raising Hua Yinyan's daughter, she even asked Wei Ying for help. Wei Ying knew she shouldn't interfere since she knew what she was capable of, but she couldn't stand Mrs. Shun's words. Since Mrs. Shun had put it this way, she had to help her. Then, I'll try my best, Annie. I can only say that I'll try my best. That's great. Xiaoying, thank you. You're welcome. Wei Ying smiled awkwardly. Wei Ying had thought that she would find a chance to meet Shun Mingxi in a few days, but to her surprise, they met again at the cocktail party that night. Xiaoying, look, isn't that your ex-husband? A socialite nudged Wei Ying. Wearing a dark blue evening gown, Wei Ying looked up and saw Shun Mingxi standing not far away. He was holding the hand of a beautiful 5-year-old girl in a princess gown. Isn't that Hua Yinyan's daughter? Young Master Shen adopted her? What's going on? Someone whispered in the crowd. Chapter 30:14. Yeah, what do you think? Young Master Shen doesn't have to bring trouble to himself. Yeah, that kid's mother isn't a good person. When she grows up, she won't be a good person either. What's the saying again? If the upper beam is not straight, the lower beam will be crooked. Young Master Shun is too soft-hearted. I guess he can't bear to part with her. Although she's not his biological daughter, they live together and have feelings for each other. Really? I don't think so. I heard rumors that young Master Shun is a pedophile and wants to keep her for himself after she grows up. Hearing this, Wei Ying's expression changed drastically. She walked over with a long face and said, "You guys seem to have a lot of free time. Is it fun to gossip about other people all day long?" The socialites looked at each other awkwardly. At this age, you should cherish your life. Don't worry about other people's problems, Wei Ying said. Ying, we're just defending you. Shen Mingxi used to treat you so badly. That's my business. I'm not even planning for it. Why are you guys following me? Hearing Wei Ying's words, the socialites didn't dare to say more. In Sea City, the Wei family was very wealthy and few small companies dared to go against them, especially after knowing the relationship between Wei Liao and Su Yu. So, even though they knew Wei Ying was insulting them, they didn't dare to talk back. Then, Wei Ying walked to the side. Shun Mingxi walked in with Tian Tian. After greeting some acquaintances, he went to the side and got Tian Tian a piece of mousse cake. Uncle Shun, when are we going home? In a bit. I have to meet a friend to talk about something. Then we'll leave. Okay, can I get whatever I want to eat? Tian Tian asked. Sure, but don't eat too much. You'll be bloated, Shen Mingxi told Tian Tian patiently. When Wei Ying walked over, Tian Tian went to get ice cream. After greeting the others, Shen Mingxi was about to pick up a cocktail when Wei Ying took it for him. Thank you. When Shen Mingxi looked up to thank her, he saw that the person before him was Wei Ying. Big brother Mingxi, is your injury okay? I heard from Annie that you've returned to work at the company? Well, it's nothing serious. There are still some minor injuries that can be healed. It's not urgent. That's good. Wei Ying nodded. Your brother didn't come with you? Shen Mingxi looked behind Wei Ying. Oh no. My brother and sister-in-law seem to be in a terrible fix because of President Qin's family. My sister-in-law has always been close to Lady Qin, and she even fell seriously ill because of it. I see. It seemed that everyone in the industry knew about what had happened to Qin Chu's family. But because there were too many people here, Shun Mingxi didn't say much. Mingxi, that kid. Recalling what Mrs. Shun had told her, Wei Ying was about to say something. Then, she heard someone calling her from behind. Wei Ying turned around and saw Yi Zhaoyang in a black casual suit walking over with a glass of champagne. I've been looking for you for a long time. So you're here. Yi Zhaoyang smiled. Before Wei Ying could speak, he took off his jacket and put it on her. The air conditioner here is a bit strong. Don't catch a cold. Thank you. Embarrassed, Wei Ying lowered her head. Huh, President Shun, what a coincidence. You know our Ying? Yi Zhaoyang asked Shun Mingxi with a smile. Chapter 30:15. Shun Mingxi was about to speak when Yi Zhaoyang said, Oh, I remember now. You're Ying's scumbag ex-husband, Yi Zhaoyang. Wei Ying was a bit anxious. Sorry, it was a slip of the tongue. I just heard it from others. President Shun, you're a big man. You won't blame me, right? I won't. Shun Mingxi looked at him, obviously displeased. Ying, my mom and Annie are over there. Do you want me to take you to them to say hello? Wei Ying wanted to refuse, but she knew Yi Zhaoyang didn't like Shun Mingxi. If she didn't go, Yi Xiaoyang would think she didn't want to cause more trouble because of Shun Mingxi. Wei Ying nodded and said goodbye to Shin Mingxi. Big brother Mingxi, I'll go now. Okay. After a few steps, Wei Ying stopped and turned to look at Yi Xiaoyang. Is it fun? Yi Xiaoyang pretended not to know. I'm asking you, is it fun to insult people? Wei Ying was a bit angry. Xiaoying, I was just trying to help you vent your anger. He treated you so badly. Shut up. That's between me and him. Let's not talk about what happens between us. It's not up to you to interfere. Who do you think you are? Who are you to me? We? There's nothing between us. I didn't promise you anything. Your family's business is declining, and your dad wants to develop a new project with my dad. That's between them. You could talk to my brother, but don't try to get close to me. I won't use my marriage for an alliance. So, don't be so sarcastic when you see Shin Mingxi in the future. I really despise your face just now. Then, Wei Ying turned to leave. Yi Xiaoyang was obviously displeased, but he didn't dare to say anything. Wei Ying was telling the truth. The Yi family didn't need the Wei family's help. He pursued Wei Ying for a purpose, but it wasn't just for benefits. He really liked Wei Ying's shrewdness, decisiveness, and even her talent and beauty. After the Yi family gets over this crisis, I'll pursue you openly. Shin Mingxi wants to remarry me? No way, Yi Xiaoyang said in a low voice. Wei Ying had planned to change her clothes and leave. She wasn't interested in this kind of occasion. When he passed by the corridor, he saw Huiyanyan's daughter squatting down and eating ice cream. Her small figure was carefully sitting there. It really made one's heart ache. At this time, a man walked past her. When the little girl got up, she accidentally knocked over the tray in her hand. The ice cream splashed all over the man's suit. Whose child is this? How can he be so uneducated? The man roared. I'm sorry, uncle. I didn't mean to. Xiao Tian was so scared that she immediately reached out to help the man. Go away. Don't touch my pants. Take your dirty hands away. The man seemed to have a bad temper. At this moment, the man's female companion walked over. Dear, what's going on? I don't know whose kid it is, but he got all over me. The man frowned and scolded. This seems to be the child that young Master Shun brought here. The woman looked at Tian and said, Young Master Shun? So she's that burden? The man said viciously, I'm not a burden. Tian didn't understand the meaning of the word burden, but she knew it wasn't something good. So she's that slut Huiyanyan's daughter. Does she look like a slut? Did your mom teach you how to seduce men when you were young? You're trying to get my attention, right? The man pointed at the child and scolded viciously. In the end, Wei Ying couldn't stand it anymore and walked over in her high heels. Chapter 30:16. Aren't you afraid that people will laugh at you for bullying a kid? Who are you? It's none of your business. The man turned his head and retorted. However, he was immediately pulled back by his female companion. She reminded him in a low voice, Honey, don't be impulsive. She's the daughter of the Wei family. Hearing that she was from the Wei family, the man's attitude changed immediately. He smiled obsequiously and said, Oh, it's Beauty Wei. I've heard so much about you. Wei Ying glanced at the man and said faintly, If I remember correctly, you're the illegitimate son of the Gao family, right? Now that the Gao family has acknowledged you, you don't know who you are anymore? You. The man didn't expect Wei Ying to be so blunt as to expose his shortcomings. What? You're a man. How can you bully a kid? Wei Ying walked over and stood in front of Tian. It's all because of this little bastard. She got me all sticky, the man argued. The kid is so young. You didn't do it on purpose. Forgive and forget. Don't tell me you don't have kids in the future. Wei Ying retorted. Sister Wei Ying, do you know who this kid is? The woman suddenly asked. Wei Ying sneered but didn't answer. Sister Wei Ying, this kid is the daughter of that vixen Huiyanyan. Don't forget how that woman ruined your marriage, the woman added. Every debt has its debtor. Huiyanyan had nothing to do with the kid. I'm not stupid enough to take it out on a kid. Okay. The woman pouted but didn't dare to say more when she saw Wei Ying didn't appreciate her kindness. Let's go, honey. The woman pulled the man away. Stop, Wei Ying yelled behind them. Miss Wei, what's your order? The man and woman turned around. obviously displeased. You apologize to the kid for what you just said. Wei Ying pointed at the man and said word by word. What did you say? You want me to apologize to a bitch's daughter? Are you kidding me? The man was furious. Don't make it sound so bad. Your mother is also a mistress. It's the pot calling the kettle black. Wei Ying didn't hold back. Wei Ying, don't cross the line. Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you're from the Wei family. The man was furious. I'm not being lawless. I'm being reasonable. The child has already apologized to you for spilling ice cream on you, but you're still holding on to it. It's not fair to the child. Sister Wei Ying, what's the point of helping your love rival's child? The woman didn't seem happy. It's my business who I want to help. If you don't apologize, you're going against the Wei family. If I remember correctly, the Gao family needs a lot of help from the Wei family. What? Do you want me to tell my dad to cut off the Gao family source of income and kick you out? Wei Ying's tone was domineering. Upon hearing Wei Ying's words, the man immediately became listless. In this city, there were very few financial groups that could compete with the Wei family. The Gao family was just a nouveau riche and could only be considered a small family. He didn't even dare to offend the Yi clan, let alone the Wei clan. The man didn't dare to offend Wei Ying, so he immediately changed his attitude and said with a smile, Miss Wei, please be merciful and forgive us this time, okay? You're wrong. Apologize to her, not me. Wei Ying pointed at Tian. More and more people came to watch. Shen Mingxi had unknowingly stood in the middle of the crowd and watched everything quietly. What? Are you going to apologize or not? Wei Ying glared at the perverted man and asked aggressively. Chapter 30:17. Seeing more and more onlookers, the man felt embarrassed. Honey, what should we do? The woman tugged at the man's hand in a low voice. Get out of my way. The man shook off the woman's hand impatiently. Finally, he gritted his teeth and walked up to Tian. Scared, Tian hid behind Wei Ying. Don't be afraid. He's the one who did something wrong, not you. He's apologizing to you. Wei Ying turned around and walked forward with Tian in her arms. I'm sorry, kid. I take back what I said, the man said in a huff. Is that okay, Miss Wei? The man asked impatiently. It's okay. I hope you can watch your words and actions in the future. Wei Ying didn't continue the argument. Seeing that they couldn't watch the show, the onlookers dispersed. Holding Tian's hand, Wei Ying was about to go find Shen Mingxi when she saw him behind her. I was going to go find you. Watch her. After all, there are all kinds of people here. Wei Ying let go of Tian and brought her to Shen Mingxi. Uncle Shen. Tian immediately threw herself at Shen Mingxi. Are you okay, Tian? I'm fine. This Annie saved me. Tian could tell the difference between good and bad, even though she didn't know what had just happened. Shen Mingxi had been here for a while. For some reason, if it were in the past, he would have rushed up and taught that scumbag a lesson so that he could show off and slap his face. But this time, seeing Wei Ying's actions, he wanted to see how much she could handle it. The result was satisfying. The status of the Wei family's young mistress was indeed oppressive. In the past, Shen Mingxi had always thought that Wei Ying used her status as the young mistress of the Wei family to bully others. But now he realized that she could also stand up for justice. If it were someone else, it wouldn't be a big deal. But the person she was protecting was Hua Yinyan's daughter. Knowing that she was Hua Yinyan's daughter, she let go of the past and stood up for Tian. No matter what the onlookers said about her, Shen Mingxi was touched by her courage. Thank you, Shen Mingxi said. Don't mention it. It's not a big deal. The guy is obviously a scumbag. He bullied a kid. What a disgrace, Wei Ying said nonchalantly. But you have to be careful in the future. That man is obviously holding a grudge, Shen Mingxi reminded her. Don't worry, I'll be careful. Wei Ying smiled faintly. When are you leaving? Right away. I'm really sleepy. Yawning, Wei Ying said. Did you drive here by yourself? Shen Mingxi asked. No, my chauffeur drove me here. Oh, okay. Then you should go back early. Okay. Wei Ying nodded and turned to leave. Actually, Shen Mingxi had wanted to say, you drove here and it's not safe to go back alone. Why don't you take my car? But when he heard Wei Ying say that it was the chauffeur, he didn't have the nerve to say anything. After Wei Ying left, Shun Mingxi left the hotel with the kids. Uncle Shun. Do you like that auntie? Why do you ask? Because I feel that the way you look at her is different. What kind of look is that? Shun Mingxi asked Tian Tian with a smile. It's a very friendly look. You used to look at mommy like that. Then, I don't know when it started, but mommy changed, you changed, and everyone changed. Tian Tian lowered her head, looking depressed. Tian Tian, Uncle Shun, and your mommy. Shun Mingxi didn't know what to say. At this moment, he heard a loud bang behind him. Shun Mingxi's car was hit by someone. Chapter 30:18. She was too young and sitting in the front seat, so she knocked her head on the floor. Tian Tian burst into tears from the pain. Shun Mingxi opened the car door and walked out. Behind his white Maserati was a black Porsche Cayenne. The person who got out of the car was Yi Zhaoyang. Ouch, President Shun, I'm sorry. I slipped and rear-ended you. But it's okay. You can take it to a 4S shop for repairs. I'll pay for the repairs. As soon as he said the word pay, Shun Mingxi punched Yi Zhaoyang to the ground. Perhaps he hadn't expected that the gentle Shun Mingxi would suddenly make a move. When he reacted and wanted to fight back, it was too late. Shun Mingxi's punches were fast and hard, and Yi Zhaoyang fell to the ground. When he was done, Shun Mingxi stood up, wiped the dust off his fists, and said, "You can go to the hospital without worry. I'll pay for your hospitalization fees." Then, Shun Mingxi got into his car and left with Tian Tian. Someone accidentally took a video of the fight, and it went viral in the upper-class circle. Soon, Wei Ying saw it. "Ying, people are saying that Shun Mingxi and Yi Zhaoyang fought because of you." Her best friend sent her a voice message. "That's impossible. Don't talk nonsense." "I'm not talking nonsense. Everyone says so. Young Master Yi likes you. Everyone can see it. It's normal that he doesn't like young Master Shun." "Haha, do you feel proud now?" "No," Wei Ying replied faintly. "But did you watch the video?" "Haha, young Master Shun is so cool today. He single-handedly beat young Master Yi. Young Master Yi was beaten up badly. I heard the Yi family is going to the Shun family for revenge. It's a fight between kids. It's embarrassing," Wei Ying said. "I know, right? I didn't know young Master Shun was so good at fighting. I heard that Lord Su was the best of the 4 young masters. After all, he used to be in the army. Oh, does your brother know how to fight too?" Her best friend gossiped. "Of course. Why else would he be kidnapped?" Wei Ying asked back. While chatting with her best friend, she pondered the reason for the fight. To be honest, Wei Ying's feelings for Shun Mingxi were complicated. She couldn't explain them. She still had feelings for him, but she was quite calm about it now. Even if he said that he had completely forgotten about her, he still felt strange every time they met. Wei Ying and Shun Mingxi's relationship wasn't as mysterious as it was described in novels. Couples who had been married for 3 years without consummating their marriage didn't exist in this world. Before the two of them divorced, their married life was quite normal. Shun Mingxi was a normal man, and Wei Ying was a stunning beauty. After all, he was a man who had intimate contact with her. At that time, many people said that if Wei Ying had a child, things would be different. If one was born into a wealthy family and did not have children, it would be very difficult for one's status to be stable. Moreover, children were also a tie to a man's heart. At this thought, Wei Ying felt depressed. She even wondered if she was infertile. A quiet night. After a busy day of work, Suyi was not in a hurry to go home. Instead, he went straight to the military hospital. In the ward, Gao Ran brought someone to see him. Ah Cheng followed behind Gao Ran. When he saw Suyu, he nodded. "Sit down. I have something to ask you." Suyu's tone was cold. Maybe it was because Ah Cheng had always been Hua Xiqian's man, so he seemed to be repulsed by him. Chapter 30:19. Okay. Ah Cheng sat down, and the 3 of them sat in Qin Shu's room. Gao Ran walked over, wet a towel with warm water, wrung it dry, and carefully wiped Qin Shu's face. Suyu took out a cigarette and was about to smoke when he remembered that he was in a hospital room. He put it down helplessly. "When did you start helping Qin Shu?" "For a long time." Ever since President Qin helped my child with the heart transplant. Ching answered honestly. How much do you know about Hua Xiqian's plan? Boss. He never tells me the details. I only know that he wants Miss Hua. He must have sent you away on purpose the day of the accident, right? So you recalled. Yes. He already knew that I was a mole. He did it on purpose. He even sent people to kill me. Luckily, President Qin's people arrived in time. You mentioned an island. What's that about? Suyu asked. I've never been there and I don't know where it is. There are people there who take care of it, and it's not in China. Hua Xiqian goes there every once in a while. No one knows where he goes, but I'm guessing that he must have a detailed plan to bring Miss Hua there. Does anyone else know about the island? I'm not sure. I'm probably the person Hua Xiqian trusts the most in the country, right? Ching was quite confident about this. What about overseas? What's his power? Boss, no. Hua Xiqian has a good relationship with the Ian family, especially with Ian's brother, Mr. Nalo. But I've only heard about it because I've never met him. It's said that he met him when he was studying abroad. They've been in contact for years, but every time Hua Xiqian goes overseas, he doesn't take us with him. At this time, Gao Ran turned his head and interrupted. Hua Xiqian is a very suspicious person. He won't completely trust them, so I'm guessing that he has a group of people abroad. I just want to know where the island is. So you sighed slightly. I really don't know. If I knew, I would have told President Qin a long time ago. He wouldn't be like this. When Ching said this, he looked back at the unconscious Qin Shu and felt guilty. So you also believe that Hua Xiqian isn't dead and that Hua Mian is still alive, right? So you asked Ching. Yeah, I don't think he's someone who would die so easily. But it's hard to say. If his second personality comes out, he's still capable of doing anything. Second personality? So you rarely heard about Hua Xiqian's second personality. Cheng gave him a simple explanation. Every time his second personality comes out, it's very scary. You could say that he's going on a killing spree. Cheng added. Then is it possible that the people who died were all his second personality or something? Was he silenced? So you asked. That doesn't make sense. If he was silenced, Cheng should be the one who died the most. But Cheng is fine, Gao Ran analyzed. I don't think so. In my opinion, even if Hua Xiqian isn't dead, he wouldn't be in the country. He might have gone to the island a long time ago. Cheng said slowly. The island again. Everyone's talking about the island. But who the fuck can tell me where the island is? There's so many oceans and islands in the world. Where am I supposed to find it? Suyu instantly fell into despair. Just then, his phone rang. He looked down at the unfamiliar number and picked it up. Suyu, I'm Rick. The man on the other end of the line said in fluent Chinese. Chapter 3020. To be honest, Suyu was pleasantly surprised when he received Rick's call. Because of what he had asked Rick to do, he definitely wouldn't be careless. As long as he could get in touch with an authoritative doctor in the U.S., there was hope for Qin Shu. Rick, is there any news? Suyu asked. We tried many times, but they all said no. Rick's tone was heavy. Then what should we do? Actually, I know someone who can save Qin Shu. Oh, Lu Yan, Rick said. Who's Lu Yan? Suyu was confused since he had never heard of this name before. It sounded like a woman's name. Didn't Hua Min tell you? No, Suyu answered directly. Oh, it seems she's still very cautious about this. Who's Lu Yan? Suyu asked. After all, Rick had said that this was a person who could save Qin Shu. Rick had never been a man who spoke without thinking. If he said this person could save Qin Shu, she must be someone extraordinary. So, he became more and more curious about this person named Lu Yan. How should I put it? This matter is very important and involve a lot of Hua Min's privacy. Without his permission, I can't say more. I can only say that Lu Yan is a trustworthy person. She cares about Hua Min and Qin Shu as much as we do. Most importantly, she definitely has the ability to save them, Rick said confidently. Damn, that's amazing. If that's the case, then hurry up and contact Lu Yan and ask her to save them. So you didn't want to ask more. As long as she could help Qin Shu, he didn't care what her name was. Lu Yan's whereabouts are always unpredictable. I can only try to contact her. As for whether I can find her or not, I'm not sure. Suyu, he really wanted to say, Then why did you talk so much nonsense? But he also understood that Rick must be worried about Qin Shu. Therefore, Rick must have tried everything he could think of and had no choice but to ask Lu Yan for help. All right, I know you'll do your best. You definitely will. So you said, yes, I will. Rick, who had always been a man of few words, only said 4 words. That's it then. We'll keep in touch. Whether I can contact Lu Yan or not, I'll go back to China soon. Before hanging up, Rick said to Suyu. After asking Ah-Cheng and talking to Rick on the phone, Suyu wasn't in a good mood. Although he knew that there was an island in Huasiqian, he didn't know its exact location. It was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Finding Huamin in a short period of time might be a long way off. Then, Rick said that he couldn't contact a doctor in the U.S. to operate on Qin Shu, so he had to rely on Lu Yan, who he didn't know if he could contact. All of a sudden, he felt a sense of defeat. Suyu felt that he hadn't done a good enough job. Now, Huamin and Qin Shu were both in trouble. Other than taking care of their children, he couldn't do anything else. He felt like a useless person. When Suyu returned home that night, it was almost 10 p.m. Thinking that the twins were asleep, Suyu planned to sneak a peek at them and then go to bed. However, when she went in, she found Pudding and Little Bean arguing. "Handsome Sue, you came back just in time," Little Bean said with a pale face. "What's wrong? Why aren't you two sleeping?" Suyu was puzzled. "Handsome Sue, I want to go home. Take me home." "What's wrong, Little Bean?" Hearing that Little Bean wanted to go home, Suyu's heart skipped a beat. Then, he walked over and picked her up with one hand. "I miss Daddy and Mommy. I want to go home. I don't want to live here anymore. My sister doesn't want to leave, so she can stay here alone." Little Bean seemed a little angry. Chapter 3021. Why do you want to go home all of a sudden? Suyu asked patiently. "Because no matter how good this place is, it's not home," Little Bean said matter-of-factly. "Then I'm not happy to hear that. Do you not like Handsome Sue anymore?" For the first time in his life, Suyu acted coquettishly with a 3-year-old girl. This scene was super affectionate. No, these two things can't be confused. I like Handsome Sue, but I also want to go home because I miss my daddy and mommy. How old are you? You still miss your parents? Suyu pinched her little nose dotingly. Come on, I'm only 3.5. Little Bean rolled her eyes at Suyu. I think so. Suyu was completely speechless and embarrassed. At this moment, Pudding walked over and glanced at her sister's face. Little Bean, we can't go home right now. Why not? Little Bean looked unconvinced. Because Daddy isn't home. You know, he went to find Mommy. Pudding was still telling a white lie. That won't stop us from going home. Grandpa, Grandma, Auntie Qin Ning, and Grandpa Li are at home. Little Bean raised her chin and argued with her sister. Grandpa, Grandma, and Annie aren't home either. You're lying? You just don't want to go home. Are you having too much fun here? Little Bean looked at her sister angrily. Your little eyes are so silly and adorable. Oh, having too much fun? You even know how to use a 4-word idiom? Do you know what it means? Suyu was amused. Hey, Handsome Sue, don't mess around when we're arguing, Little Bean said. Okay, I'm messing around. Suyu felt a headache coming on. Little Bean's personality was completely different from Pudding's. Although she usually looked carefree and easy to talk to, she was different from Pudding. Once she got angry, even 10 bulls wouldn't be able to stop her. For some reason, she suddenly wanted to go home today. Pudding and Little Bean argued for more than 10 minutes, but they still couldn't come to a conclusion. What do you mean by indulging in pleasure? It's not like that at all. Right now, Daddy isn't at home. He went out to look for Mommy, and Grandpa and Grandma aren't at home either. Our house is no longer safe. Living here is the best way to save Daddy's worries. I'm just a 3-year-old kid. What do I know? Little Bean said angrily. So you're saying that you're in the right when you're 3 years old? Does the whole world listen to you? Isn't it illegal for you to kill someone? Pudding crossed her arms and questioned her sister calmly. When Little Bean heard this, she couldn't hold it in anymore and burst into tears. Handsome Sue, look at Qin Zhao. How dare she talk to me like that? I really don't like it. Little Bean cried as she accused her sister of wrongdoing. I'm not a fortune teller under a bridge. I can't say things that you like to hear. Pudding continued. Whoa, that's enough. Stop arguing. Sue was also very helpless. He often saw them argue, and it was as dramatic as an 8 p.m. TV show. Qin Zhao Zhao, I'm going to ask you one last time. Pudding turned her head away and didn't look at Little Bean. How dare you ignore me? Good for you. Little Bean was so angry that her hands trembled. I'm going to ask you one last time. Are you coming home with me or not? The home Little Bean mentioned was South Hill Manor. Chapter 3022. No. Pudding's answer was firm. Then she added, if you want to go back, you can go back yourself. Hey, can you two not fight like this? So you was in a dilemma. Okay, you said it yourself. Since you like to stay here, then you can stay here forever. Don't think I don't know that you don't like Wei Yinshu at all. You just want to stay and be handsome Sue's wife. Qin Zhao Zhao, you're so scheming. As your sister, I look down on you. Pudding. Then, without waiting for Pudding to speak, Pudding picked up the small bag she had packed and walked out. Suyu was completely dumbfounded. Qin Moo Moo, what are you talking about? Is your brain made of glue? Pudding was speechless. Seeing Pudding open the door and walk downstairs, Suyu quickly rushed out. Pudding was so angry that she sat alone in the room and didn't care about her. She didn't tell Pudding the truth because she knew that Pudding's mental fortitude was not as strong as hers. Pudding knew that she was the older sister, so even if she was sad, she had to force a smile. But today, Pudding acted like she had taken the wrong medicine and wanted to go home for some reason. Moreover, the way she acted when she was being unreasonable was also quite annoying. Pudding was a child herself. No matter how mature she was still a child. So, the two sisters started arguing at first. When Pudding saw that she wouldn't listen to her kind words, she simply didn't want to talk anymore. But unexpectedly, Pudding started to pack her clothes even more outrageously. It seemed that she had made up her mind to move out. Suyu chased downstairs and stopped Pudding in the hall downstairs. Lady Sue was old and went to bed early. She also thought that the two sisters were already asleep at this time of the night. In the empty hall, only Suyu and Pudding were left. Pudding, what are you doing in the middle of the night? Going home. It's very dark outside. I'm not scared. I could take a taxi. Do you have money? I'm talking about cash. Taxis only take cash, Suyu said deliberately. Yes. Pudding nodded. You have cash. Suyu looked at her in confusion. Yes, there are many. As she spoke, she took out several 100 yuan bills from the small Audi bag she was carrying on her back. Where did you come from? Suyu remembered that they didn't bring any money when they came. There was food and drinks here. Whatever they wanted to buy, Lady Sue would buy it for them. Where did the kid get the cash? I used a WeChat red packet to cash out from Annie Xiaolan in the kitchen. Suyu, your little brain works pretty fast, so you didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Handsome Sue, move away. I'm leaving. Where are we going? There's no one at home. Really? South Hill Manor is pitch black right now. It's scary. What if there are vampires or zombies? What will you do? Suyu tried to scare Little Bean. To his surprise, Little Bean looked at Suyu with disdain. Handsome Sue, how old are you? Suyu was a little dumbfounded. Even a 3-year-old like me doesn't believe in such nonsense. What era are we living in? Who still believes in ghosts and gods? Ignorant humans. Little Bean sighed. Suyu, Little Bean, there's really no one at home. Then I'll go back. I'll sleep by myself. What about food? I can order takeout myself. I have a lot of money in my WeChat, Little Bean said straightforwardly. How awkward would it be if the delivery came when you were taking a shower and no one opened the door for you? Suyu's imagination was quite rich. No, I'll never order takeout when I'm taking shower. If I order takeout, I won't take a shower. Thank you, Little Bean answered smoothly. Then, what if you miss your sister? After all, you two grew up together and never left each other's side. Suyu began to play the emotional card. Chapter 3023. Miss her? Are you kidding me? She's the last person I want to see right now, Little Bean said angrily. Her face was still angry at the mention of her sister. It seemed that Pudding really pissed her off this time. Your sisters. You could talk it out. I talked to her nicely, but look at how arrogant she is. Oh my God, It's like I can't survive without her. Haha, I know that's not true. Our little bean is the best. Suyu began to coax her. Handsome Sue, I'm telling you. I know you're smart. Don't try to trick me. I won't fall for it. Anyway, I'm going home now. No, no, no. Let Uncle Sue finish first. If you have something to say, send me a WeChat message. Bye. Then, Little Bean turned to leave. Suyu decided to use force. He picked Little Bean up and carried her upstairs. But before he could do anything, he heard Pudding say, Little Bean, Daddy and Mommy are in trouble. Can you stop fooling around? What did you say? Little Bean had only taken a few steps when she turned around and looked at her sister who was standing by the railing on the second floor. Sigh. Suyu sighed. He knew that he couldn't hide the truth anymore. It seemed that he had to tell Little Bean everything tonight. What nonsense are you talking about? Qin Zhao Zhao. Who's in trouble? How can you curse our daddy and mommy? Do you have a conscience? Little Bean yelled. I'm telling the truth. Mommy was carried off a cliff by a big bad guy. We don't know if she's dead or alive. Daddy's vomiting blood and is in a coma. He's been in the hospital for days. You're lying. Little Bean's reaction was intense. You can ask Handsome Sue if I'm lying. Pudding's face was still calm, but in fact, her heart was in turmoil. Handsome Sue, is what she said true? Little Bean asked with tears in her eyes as she pointed at Pudding on the second floor. Suyu stuttered. He didn't know how to comfort the child. Handsome Sue, let's tell her. Otherwise, with her temper, she'll definitely go home. There's no one in South Hill Manor right now. Why would she go home? Pudding was also very angry. She vented all the grievances and sadness that she had been holding in for days. Little Bean, listen to me. Your daddy is in the hospital, but I'm sure he'll wake up soon. Suyu comforted Little Bean gently. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You're all lying to me. You don't want me to go home. That's why you're all lying to me. Little Bean shook her head and cried. No one is lying to you. I didn't tell you at first because I thought you wouldn't be able to take it. But now, if I don't tell you, you'll continue to make trouble. I can't take it anymore. I'm scared every day. I'm scared that Daddy won't wake up. I'm scared that I'll hear the news of Mommy's death. I've had enough of these days. With that, Pudding squatted down, leaned against the wooden railing on the second floor, and cried her heart out. Little Bean was completely dumbfounded. She knew that even if Pudding was joking, she would never do something like cursing Daddy and Mommy. Then, everything she said was true. The big bad guy jumped off the cliff with Mommy? Daddy is still unconscious? Oh my God, this was terrible news. In the end, Little Bean burst into tears. Looking at Pudding crying on the second floor and Little Bean crying on the first floor, Suyu's heart was completely broken. Qin Shu and Huan Mian had been in trouble for so many days, and he didn't even take care of the kids. At this moment, he felt extremely guilty. What's going on? What happened? Why are the kids crying? Hearing the noise, Lady Sue got up in her nightgown and walked out with gold-rimmed glasses. Chapter 3024. Mom. Suyu was a little embarrassed when he saw his mother come out. What happened? Lady Sue picked up Pudding, who was very close to her on the second floor, and held her in her arms. Then, she used her sleeve to wipe the child's tears. Actually, Suyu was hesitating about how to hide it. After all, his mother wasn't stupid, and he might be exposed. Grandma Sue, Little Bean misses home and wants to go back. I don't want to go back, so we had an argument and ended up crying, Pudding said. Obviously, she didn't want Lady Sue to know about her daddy and Mommy. Suyu picked up Little Bean and nodded. Yes, yes, yes. That's what happened. Oh, I thought it was something serious. Is it necessary? But to be honest, Mian, where did she go with Qin Shu? She went crazy and left the children. They've been here for a few days. Lady Sue was puzzled. Hearing Lady Sue's words, Little Bean was even sadder and cried even louder. Mom, look at you. Why are you saying this? Our family. Can we not feed them? Suyu said half-jokingly. Nonsense. Why would I care about food? I'm willing to live with them for the rest of my life. I just thought that since the children are still young, it's natural for them to look for their mother. After giving birth, this is the first time Mian has been separated from them for so long. It's normal for the children to miss her. Well, if she's done with work, how can she not come and pick up the children? Don't you know how Mion treats the children? So you try to find an excuse. You're right. Mion has never been able to leave the children. This time, she must have something important to do. Little Bean, don't cry. Grandma Sue will wake up early tomorrow morning and make you delicious tiramisu. Okay? I don't want to eat, Grandma Sue, Little Bean said as she cried. Oh, you're crying so pitifully. My heart is going to break. Lady Sue carefully walked downstairs with Pudding in her arms. She came to Sue Yu and looked at Pudding. Good girl, Little Bean. Don't cry. Granny Sue will make you anything you want to eat. I don't want to eat anything. Grandma Sue, I want to find my mom. Little Bean cried sadly. I'll call your mom later and ask her to come back quickly. Lady Sue, who didn't know the truth, said. Pudding gave Little Bean a look, telling her not to let Grandma Sue know. When Little Bean saw this, she lowered her head and cried. She didn't dare to say anything about what happened to her parents. After coaxing them for a while, the twins finally reconciled and went upstairs to sleep. After watching them lie down, Lady Sue glanced at Sue Yu. What happened? It's nothing. Didn't I just tell you? I'm old, but I'm not stupid. Pudding lied to me. Why are you lying to me too? Sue Yu was speechless again. I know little about Mion. If it wasn't for the accident, she wouldn't have not come to see the children for so long. She didn't even call. I've been watching the children's phones for the past few days. They haven't called their parents, video called them, or even sent them WeChat messages. Mom, it seems like you're quite attentive. Sue Yu was speechless. Nonsense. If I wasn't attentive, would I have entered the Sue family? Lady Sue rolled her eyes at her son. Seeing that he couldn't hide it anymore, Sue Yu had no choice but to tell his mother the situation. Lady Sue was shocked when she heard it. Then, she took a tissue and began to wipe her tears. Mion is such a good person. Why is her road so bumpy? She's not even 30 years old. Lady Sue cried. Mom, Mion isn't dead yet. Don't say that. Sue Yu was a little annoyed. Son, it's not that I don't know how to speak. Do you think Mion will be able to come back safely this time? Sue Yu was about to answer when his phone suddenly rang. After answering the call, Sue Yu's expression changed drastically, and he quickly stood up. Mom, something happened at the hospital. I'll go take a look. With that, Sue Yu turned around and ran, looking very anxious. Chapter 3025. On his way to the hospital, Sue Yu almost ran like crazy. When he received the call and heard that it was about Qin Shu, he was scared out of his wits. After all, a stranger had just sneaked in and drugged the bodyguards. Not long after Sue Yu left, Pudding put Little Bean to sleep and was about to go to the washroom when she saw a call from an unknown number. Hello, Pudding, it's Auntie. Auntie, where are you? Pudding couldn't suppress the excitement in her voice. Baby, I don't know where I am either, Lu Yin said, amused. Pudding, baby, listen to me. Do you remember what I told you last time? Yes. Pudding nodded solemnly. Your grandpa is here and will probably arrive at the hospital tonight. But Sue Yu won't let your grandpa operate on your daddy, so you have to do it, Lu Yin said. Grandpa is here already? Pudding was delighted. Yeah, as far as I know, yes. Okay, I got it. Then, Pudding hung up the phone and ran out to Sue Yu's room. To her surprise, it was empty. Huh? Where's handsome Sue? Pudding, why aren't you asleep yet? Lady Sue poured a cup of coffee and went upstairs. She saw Pudding standing outside Sue Yu's room. Grandma Sue, where's handsome Sue? He went out. Where did he go? He didn't say. He just said it was an emergency. Pudding nodded and called Sue Yu. Hearing that Sue Yu was in the hospital, Pudding immediately grabbed Lady Sue's hand and said, Grandma Sue, can you ask the bodyguards and chauffeur to take me to handsome Sue? Now. Lady Sue was surprised. Yeah, now. Pudding, your Uncle Sue went out to do something. You can talk to him when he comes back, okay? No, Grandma Sue. It'll be too late if he comes back. I have to talk to him now. Lady Sue knew Pudding wasn't an immature child. She must be in a hurry. After hesitating, she asked the chauffeur and bodyguards to take her to the military hospital. Entrance of intensive care unit of military hospital Sue Yu walked over and found many people standing at the door. There were doctors and guards. A group of people surrounded a white-haired old man. The old man had white hair and was wearing a dark brown shirt and black trousers. His face showed that he had been through a lot, but his eyes were sharp. "Young Master Su, you're here. What's the situation?" Hearing that someone was about to break into Qin Chu's ward, Su Yu immediately rushed over. "This old man wants to go in, but when we ask him who he is, he won't tell us. His identity is very suspicious." The guard said. "Who are you?" Su Yu looked at the old man in an unfriendly manner. "Kid, you're Su Yu?" The old man looked at Su Yu with a smile. "How do you know my name?" "He's Commander Su's grandson. Who doesn't know him?" The old man continued to laugh. "You know Qin Chu?" Since the old man wanted to break in, he must know Qin Chu. Could he be a relative of the Qin family? But that couldn't be right. The Qin family didn't know about Qin Chu's accident. The news was tightly sealed. How did this strange old man know? This made Su Yu even more cautious. "Not only do I know him, but I came back this time to save his life." The old man said. "How do you know about his accident?" Su Yu was full of hostility. He suddenly thought that the old man might be one of Hua Xiqian's men and wanted to get rid of him. "Don't worry about that. I just know. The professor's identity was special, so he couldn't say it publicly. You don't know who you are and you're sneaking around. It's very suspicious. Guards, arrest this old man," Su Yu ordered sternly. Chapter 3026. "You little brat. How dare you touch me?" The professor was furious. In the entire world, not many people dared to arrest him. Even the FBI had to respectfully address him as professor when they saw him. However, as soon as he came back to China, Su Yu ordered him to be arrested. "I don't care who you are. You're up to no good. Arrest him," Su Yu urged. The guards around him immediately swarmed forward and reached out to grab the professor. Just then, a childish voice shouted from the hallway, "Stop! Pudding, why are you here?" Su Yu turned around and saw Pudding. He frowned slightly. The moment the old man saw the child, his eyes filled with love. "Handsome Su, you can't arrest him." Pudding walked over and said word by word. "Why? You know this old man?" Su Yu looked at Pudding in confusion. Pudding nodded. "Who is he?" "Pudding?" Su Yu was curious. If Pudding knew him, he should be someone important. But why hadn't he seen him before? "He is Pudding," the old man reminded her. He thought Pudding was going to reveal his identity. "It doesn't matter who he is. What matters is that he can save my dad's life." Pudding remembered Lu Yan's words and didn't want to reveal the professor's identity. "Pudding, are you sure? This old man? He can save your dad's life?" Su Yu was even more confused. "Yes." "Pudding, are you sure you're not joking with me? Did you know? No doctor in China can cure your daddy's illness. Even in the States, your Uncle Rick told me that he asked many of your daddy's college classmates and mentors, but they all said they couldn't do it. Now you're telling me that this old man can be cured?" So you look doubtful. "They can't save him because they're stupid and have limited abilities." The old man seemed to be very proud. "Old man, bragging is free, right?" So you glared at the old man. "Handsome Su, don't say anything. I trust him. I wanted to operate on my dad." "No, what are you doing?" So you frowned slightly. It was the first time he had scolded Pudding. "I'm not fooling around. I'm serious about every word I say." "Pudding, were you hypnotized? You're speaking up for an outsider and an old man you don't even know. Even if he's in a critical condition, we can't just turn to any doctor. Do you know how dangerous your father's situation is? If you're not careful, your life might be in danger." Su Yu was a little angry at Pudding. "That's why we need to operate on my father immediately. We can't miss the best time for surgery," Pudding insisted. "So you believe in this old man who came out of nowhere?" Su Yu was furious. The professor was speechless when he heard Su Yu call him an old man. He swore that if he didn't know that Su Yu was his daughter's good friend, he would have blown up this arrogant and rude kid. "I'm not doing this." "Handsome Su, do you trust me?" Su Yu didn't answer Pudding's question. "Handsome Su, even if I'm a child, I know what's right and what's wrong. This is my dad's life. I'm not that reckless." "My grandpa." Pudding almost blurted out the word grandpa. She quickly changed her words and said, "This old man is very powerful. Trust me, he's the only one in the world who can save my dad." "Who told you that? Were you brainwashed or hypnotized?" So he was furious. Chapter 30:27. But he didn't, Pudding answered calmly. Pudding, this is a matter of life and death, so you emphasize the danger of this operation. That's why I need someone reliable to do this. Suyu looked at Pudding in surprise, and then at the mysterious old man. So, this old man is the reliable person you were talking about? Yes, that's right. Suyu was speechless. Suyu was exhausted when he saw Pudding asking the old man to do the operation with Chin-Chu. Pudding would never do something so ridiculous, but today, it was as if someone had cast a spell on her. She was completely disobedient. We don't have much time left. Handsome Sue, I'm begging you. Hurry up and do the operation for Daddy, Pudding said with tears in her eyes. Suyu's heart ached when he saw Pudding like this. However, he wasn't confident because he didn't know the old man's identity. If he did something bad during the operation, Chin-Chu might die. If Huamin came back safely and found out that Chin-Chu was dead, he would hate Suyu for making the wrong decision today. Pudding saw the hesitation in Suyu's eyes. Pudding added, Handsome Sue, this time, I'll take all the responsibility and consequences of Daddy's operation. It's not about who will take the responsibility. I'm just afraid that it'll be too late to regret it. Suyu continued to hesitate. You won't regret it. Daddy will wake up safely. Only when Daddy wakes up can he find Mommy, Pudding said calmly. But Pudding, Handsome Sue, I'm begging you. We've known each other for more than 3 years. I swear on my life's integrity that this time. Please trust me, okay? Pudding was firm in her words. She felt that Suyu had no reason to refuse, nor did he have the heart to refuse. In the end, Suyu lost to Pudding. Okay, Pudding. Uncle Sue believes you. Thank you. Pudding rushed over and hugged Suyu excitedly. Then, he turned around and smiled at the old man. Can we start now? Pudding, come with me. I want to see how he's doing, the old man said. All right, Pudding. Suyu was still worried that Pudding would go into the ward alone with this mysterious old man. I'm fine, Handsome Sue. Wait for me outside. Be a good girl. Pudding was in a great mood. Suyu watched as the little girl, who was wearing a white doll dress with red polka dots, followed the old man into the ward. Young Master Sue, this is too ridiculous, isn't it? The doctor from the military hospital couldn't understand. There were so many top doctors in the country who couldn't do anything, but an old man who suddenly appeared could do it. Could it be that he was an immortal? Suyu didn't answer because he also didn't think it was reliable. However, he was willing to trust Pudding. Pudding wasn't an ordinary child. She was a little girl with a terrifyingly high IQ. She inherited her parents' powerful genes and could deal with many unexpected situations on her own. He and Pudding had been kidnapped twice and narrowly escaped death each time. Suyu believed that a smart child like Pudding, who loved her father so much, would never do anything risky. Since she insisted on using him, she must have her reasons. After considering many things, Suyu compromised, although he still wasn't sure. After they entered the ward, the moment the door closed, the old man turned around and looked at Suyu. The old man turned around and looked at Pudding kindly. Pudding, do you know who I am? Chapter 30:28. Pudding stared at the old man with her big watery eyes for 3 seconds and said calmly, I know, you're Grandpa. Hearing the words Grandpa, the old man's eyes immediately warmed up. To be able to hear Mion's daughter call him Grandpa in his lifetime was an indescribable happiness. The professor reached out and patted Pudding's head lovingly. Good girl. They didn't talk much. The professor walked up to the bed and did a series of examinations for Chin-Chu. Pudding didn't understand the equipment on her grandpa. Was it like her Annie's watch phone? It could create an illusion when he made a call. It was an advanced technology that had never been seen on the market. After about half an hour, the professor took off the equipment on Chin-Chu. It seems these quacks are good. Basically, the diagnosis is correct, the professor said. Grandpa, how's my daddy now? Pudding walked over and asked worriedly. It's not good, the professor said as he packed up. But you'll find a way to save him, right? Pudding said confidently. Who told you that your grandpa will definitely find a way to save your daddy? The professor smiled lovingly. Annie told me. Pudding answered honestly. I knew it. Other than that damn girl, No one else is as annoying as you. The professor smiled helplessly. Grandpa, are you sure you can save Daddy? Pudding asked. You were so confident when you talked to that young boy outside. Why are you not confident now? The professor wanted to see how his grandson, who is rumored to have a high IQ, would react. That's because we don't doubt people. Annie is so smart. If she said that Grandpa must have a way, then he must have a way. You're right. The professor nodded in satisfaction. Grandpa, have you thought of a way to save my daddy? I have. That's great. Grandpa, you're amazing. For the first time, Pudding admired someone from the bottom of her heart. When a huge problem was placed in front of them, everyone was helpless. Then someone came and said lightly, Mitchum, don't worry. I'll solve this problem. At this moment, one would think that he was a godlike person. Then when can I operate on Daddy? Will he be able to wake up after the surgery? Pudding asked 2 more questions in a row. Before the operation, Grandpa has to do one more thing. What is it? Pudding was curious. Detoxification. Your daddy. This guy is so perverted that he drugged himself to suppress his mental pain. For a long time, the toxins have accumulated in his liver. If they are not removed in time, the internal liver will continue to be in a state of necrosis. Grandpa said a lot of professional things. Although Pudding didn't really understand, she could tell that it was a problem that couldn't be ignored. Okay, then Grandpa will detoxify Daddy first. Pudding nodded. Where's Little Bean? She's still at Grandma Sue's house. Grandma Sue? Are you talking about Sue Yu's family? Yes. How about this? Come back to South Hill Manor with me. I can take care of you while researching the antidote. Is this okay? Pudding was pleasantly surprised. Of course. Do you want to go back with Grandpa? The professor smiled warmly. Yes. My sister and I both miss home. It's great that Grandpa is here. For the first time, Pudding couldn't be so calm. She couldn't suppress the excitement on her face. So, I need you to tell the kid outside that you'll deal with him first. Then we'll go home. The professor pointed at Sue Yu outside the door. Pudding nodded and opened the door to walk out. Pudding, how is it? What did the old man say? Sue Yu was also very nervous. Chapter 3029. Pudding cleared her throat and said, That old man said, You're very annoying. You're always nagging and nagging. Sue Yu was speechless. Ha ha, I'm just kidding. You believe me? Pudding laughed out loud. Sue Yu found it hard to accept that Pudding, who is usually cold and arrogant, suddenly changed her personality. Are you possessed by Pudding? At this moment? Sue Yu was exasperated. No. I'm just kidding. Don't worry. The old man said that my daddy's illness is a small matter. That's what the old man said? Sue Yu was puzzled. Yeah. Pudding nodded. Humph. Is the old man bragging? Sue Yu found it hard to believe. Why was it that even the famous Professor Luo couldn't solve a case that the whole country couldn't solve? Even the mentors and excellent students at Harvard Medical School couldn't do it. This ordinary-looking old man said it was a small matter? It was like an old man who got drunk on the street and bragged that he had fought in the Long March and worked for a marshal. Of course not, Pudding denied. Pudding, you seem to believe him. Yeah, then why do you believe him? Sue Yu leaned over and asked Pudding mysteriously. Because I have no other choice but to believe him. Sue Yu was speechless. You're just trying to save a dead horse. Sue Yu was helpless. But my daddy isn't a horse. He's a super handsome guy, Pudding emphasized. I know. I'm just making an analogy. Okay, let's not talk about that. Handsome Sue, come here. I have something to discuss with you. Pudding waved her hand and began to act cute. But Sue Yu knew that Pudding had a purpose for acting cute. What is it? Sue Yu was wary of the little girl. Come here first. I'm a little tired. I want to sit in your arms. When Sue Yu heard this, he was even more scared. He walked up to Pudding carefully. Sitting on a long bench, Pudding climbed up and sat on Sue Yu's lap. Then, she wrapped her arms around his neck. Handsome Sue, do you like me a lot? Of course. Then, will you agree to whatever I want to do? That depends on what the matter is. Murder and arson are definitely out of the question. Sue Yu was also careful. Of course not. How could I possibly do something like that? Then everything else can be discussed. Then I want to ask you for a favor, Pudding said mysteriously. Speak. Promise me first, then I'll tell you. Fuck. What kind of logic is this? I don't even know what it is, so how can I promise you? So he was dumbfounded. I don't care. If you don't agree, I won't tell you. Pudding continued to act shamelessly. Actually, she had learned this from her mommy. She found that her mommy often used this trick to deal with her daddy, and it worked every time. Pudding thought that it would work on Suyu as well. After all, he loved her and Little Bean so much. What are you playing at? Don't be naughty. I'm not. I'm being serious. Handsome Sue, just say yes. It's not a difficult thing. I'm not asking you for 1,000,000 yuan. Pudding smiled. Humph. 1,000,000 yuan is easy. So you thought for a moment and thought that the little girl probably wouldn't cause any trouble. So he nodded. Okay, tell me. You agree? Pudding was pleasantly surprised. Yes, I agreed. Here's the thing. Little Bean and I will go back to South Hill Manor and live with the foreign old man. No. As soon as Pudding finished speaking, Suyu's face turned cold. Chapter 30:30. Handsome Sue, you're not trustworthy. Pudding pouted. How am I not trustworthy? You said you'd agree to anything I say, but your request is too unreasonable. I can't agree. Suyu's face was still dark. How is it unreasonable? I just want to move back home with my sister. With that old man of unknown origin. Suyu questioned. He's not an old man of unknown origin. He's... Pudding paused. Her auntie's words came to her mind again. Her auntie said her grandpa's identity was special and she couldn't tell anyone. She couldn't even tell Suyu to avoid unnecessary trouble. Pudding didn't know her grandpa's identity, but her auntie was right. Pudding swallowed the words that were about to come out of her mouth. He's... What? Suyu saw Pudding's hesitation and wanted to get more information. He's the one who can save my daddy. Pudding, are you sure you're not hiding anything from me? Suyu's eyes were sharp. No. Then why do you trust him so much that you want to move back to South Hill Manor with your sister? Do you think it's safe there? I trust him. Nonsense. Suyu was really angry this time. Handsome Sue, you promised me. You can't go back on your word. Don't waste time. They said they can cure my daddy. Let's detoxify him first. I think it won't be long before my daddy wakes up. Then, he'll tell you everything and explain everything you don't understand. But you didn't tell me the truth. Suyu looked into Pudding's eyes. Pudding lowered her head guiltily, not daring to look into Suyu's eyes. Finally, after 10 seconds of silence, Suyu said, fine. Since you trust him so much, let him be. I'll ask someone to send Lil Bean back. I thought that when your daddy and mommy weren't here, you two trusted me the most. I didn't expect that. I'm not as good as an old man of unknown origin. It's not like that, Handsome Sue. We still love you. Pudding was worried. Hearing Suyu's words, she was sad. It's okay. You can do whatever you want. I've done my best. Your daddy asked me to take care of you, and I've done my best. Your mommy isn't here now, and I've done my best to protect your daddy. I, Suyu, have a clear conscience toward the Chin family. After that, Suyu carefully put the child down on the ground. Then, he walked towards the other end of the corridor. Handsome Sue, I'm sorry. You'll understand in the future. Pudding's voice was very small. Looking at Suyu's lonely back, she felt very sad and wanted to cry. However, she knew rationally that crying wouldn't solve anything. The professor held Pudding's hand and left the hospital, returning to South Hill Manor. Suyu didn't go back on his words. He asked someone to send Little Bean and the twins' things back to South Hill Manor. Then, Suyu asked them to bring people to South Hill Manor to protect the two children at all times. If the old man was found to be doing anything wrong, he was to be killed immediately. After doing all this, Suyu was still worried. He drove directly to the Municipal Public Security Bureau and found Gao Ran. Look at this old man carefully. Do you know him? Suyu took a photo on his phone. Gao Ran leaned over and looked carefully. He shook his head. No, you've never seen him even once. No, Gao Ran replied. That's strange. Who is he? Suyu muttered to himself. Didn't you check his background? Gao Ran asked. I did, but I didn't find anything. This old man's information is blank. Blank? That's impossible. Gao Ran was surprised. Chapter 3031. It's true. So you look serious. How is that possible? Even if he's an ordinary person, his background wouldn't be blank. There must be some basic information about his family. But he didn't. Then, if he's not a citizen of our country, did you find out which country he's from? I couldn't find out his nationality. Do you know what that means? It means I don't even know his name. So you sighed deeply. Then there's a problem. He's definitely hiding it on purpose, Gao Ran said cautiously. I think so too. What? Is he a suspect? Is he the one who broke into the ward and drugged your bodyguard? Gao Ran suddenly remembered what happened at the hospital that day. I'm not sure. Then why did you take out his photo and investigate him? He said he can save Qin Chu. What? Gao Ran was even more surprised. To be exact, Pudding said this old man can save Qin Chu. Gao Ran was once again dumbfounded. No, Lord Su, I'm very confused right now. Can you tell me what's going on? Gao Ran was completely confused. Su Yu then told Gao Ran everything that happened. After Gao Ran heard everything, he was silent for a long time. Then he asked, so you're agreeing to let that mysterious old man take the twins back to South Hill Manor? Yes. Su Yu nodded. That's very risky. You don't even know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. Gao Ran felt that Su Yu was too careless. I tried to stop her, but Pudding was very stubborn. Pudding is still a child. How can you listen to her and let her do whatever she wants? Gao Ran stood up, looking very worried. Pudding isn't an ordinary child. Don't underestimate her. Maybe she's been hypnotized or brainwashed. Anyway, this is too unreliable. Gao Ran paced around the office with his hands on his waist. My people are monitoring the situation. If they find something wrong, they'll immediately kill him, Su Yu added. Are they in a hurry? Your people are always outside. How would they know if something happened inside? There are surveillance cameras? There are blind spots in the surveillance cameras. Besides, if they kill the kids, you won't be able to save them. I feel that although that old man is mysterious, he doesn't have any killing intent. Based on my intuition, he doesn't seem like someone who would harm the twins. Lord Su, I'm a police officer. I don't believe in bullshit intuition. No, this is too ridiculous. I have to go to South Hill Manor and bring the kids to my house. Now that Qin Chu and Huamin aren't here, I can't let anything happen to the kids. Just like that, Gao Ran and Su Yu seemed to disagree. Although Su Yu was very worried, he chose to believe Pudding and didn't do anything extreme. But Gao Ran was different. He and his men drove 5 police cars to South Hill Manor immediately. On an unknown island in the Pacific Ocean, after a few days of stalemate with Huasi Qian, Huamin finally felt despair. She knew that no matter what, she couldn't escape from this guy's hands. Instead of lying down and pretending to be dead, she might as well get up and see if there was a chance to escape or if there were any flaws in the defense. Huamin got up and changed into a white silk dress that Huasi Qian had prepared for her. The dress had lace at the cuffs and hem, a typical choice for straight men. Although it wasn't Huamin's type, the dress was beautiful and of good quality. Huamin glanced at the label. It was from a luxury brand and cost 6 figures. After changing into the dress, she opened the door and was about to walk out. Mian, you finally came out to get some fresh air? You're not mad at me anymore. Huasi Qian had a bamboo basket in his hand. He seemed to have just returned from outside. Chapter 3032. Huamin glanced at Huasi Qian coldly. Without a word, he walked past Huasi Qian. Mian, you're not familiar with this place. It's dangerous for you to wander around. Are you afraid that I'll run away? After Huamin asked this, Huasi Qian laughed. There aren't even any boats here. You can't run away. You know that the closest land to here is 2 or 3 days by boat. Why would I be worried that you'll run away? After hearing Huasi Qian's words, Huamin's heart sank, and he felt even more hopeless. I'm going out for some fresh air. I won't go far. Don't follow me. After saying this, Huamin left. As expected, Huasi Qian didn't follow. Perhaps he knew that Huamin's emotions were very messy and complicated. Moreover, she was pregnant, so it was inevitable that her words would be too extreme or emotional. Huamin spent more than 2 hours walking around the small island. The roads on the island were all dirt roads and were indeed very original. Compared to those man-made tourist attractions, this was an island with its original flavor. The entire island was so big. Wild flowers, wild fruits, and many nameless tropical plants could be found everywhere. There were also small animals. The entire island only had one small wooden house, one bedroom, one living room, one bathroom, one kitchen, and one washroom. It wasn't big, but it had everything he needed, so it was quite convenient. Huamin didn't know how long Huasi Qian had planned to develop this island. However, just hearing him say that it would take 2 or 3 days by boat to reach the closest land, Huamin still had lingering fears. The sun was setting in the west. Looking at the sunset and the seagulls on the sponge, the scenery of the sea and the sky were the same color. This should have been very beautiful, but there was only sadness in her heart. Huamin didn't go back until it was almost dark. As soon as he entered, he smelled the rich aroma of rice. Huamin turned his head and saw Huasi Qian walk out of the kitchen. He was wearing a green cotton shirt and black cloth shoes. "I was just about to go out and look for you. You're back so soon, just in time for dinner. I'm not eating anymore." After that, Huamin went back to his room with a cold face. Huasi Qian didn't waste any time. Instead, he served the dishes that he had prepared. It was very light. It was a stir-fried vegetable. This was a kind of wild vegetable that grew on the island. It was green and lush. There was also a scrambled egg. There was also a fish. Huasi Qian would go to the beach to fish every day. There were all kinds of fish. Sometimes it was a big fish, and sometimes it was a few small fish. She cooked them in different ways to make Huamin happy. "Mian, you're pregnant now. You should eat more fish. I heard that the baby will be smarter if you eat fish." Huamin didn't say anything. Huasi Qian patiently prepared the dishes and put them in front of Huamin on a tray. "I know you don't like to eat with me. You can eat here by yourself. I'll eat in the kitchen. Is that okay?" Huamin looked down at the dishes. Suddenly, anger rose in his heart. He raised his hand and knocked the food to the ground. After a while, Huasi Qian smiled helplessly. "Is it because the food I made these days wasn't good enough for you? Tell me what you want to eat. When my people come to deliver food to us next month, I'll ask them to bring it." "Huasi Qian, how long are you going to lock me up? You're like a pet. What's the point?" Huamin couldn't help but get angry. "How can I be a pet? Mian, we're family. I think of you as my family. Don't be ridiculous. We've never been family, emotionally or genetically." "Huasi Qian, don't lie to yourself. How long are you going to have this dream?" Chapter 3033. If it's possible, I hope that this dream will last forever and never wake up, Huasi Qian begged. "Don't even think about it. You won't succeed. Qin Shu will come looking for me." "Mian, don't be silly. Qin Shu is just a mortal. This is a secret place that I've set up for years. Not to mention Qin Shu, even an army wouldn't be able to find you easily. You like Qin Shu, so you treat him like a god, right? You just said that I was lying to myself. What are you doing now?" Huasi Qian smiled. "I'm not like you. Qin Shu will come looking for me. He will." Huamin was determined. Yes, Huamin trusted Qin Shu more than she trusted herself. She believed that as long as Qin Shu was still alive, he would be able to find her no matter where she was. Okay. Qin Shu will definitely come looking for you. Let's eat first, okay?" Huasi Qian coaxed. "I'm not hungry. Even if you're not hungry, the baby will be hungry. He's already so big." Huasi Qian glanced at Huamin's slightly bulging belly as he spoke. Huamin knew that she shouldn't be stubborn. If she didn't eat in a fit of pique, the baby would suffer with her. Seeing Huamin waver, Huasi Qian cleaned up the spilled food on the floor and walked into the kitchen. Then, he filled Huamin's bowl with rice and vegetables. He gave the entire fish body to Huamin, leaving only the head and tail for himself. Then, Huasi Qian brought the tray over again. He placed it on a small table beside Huamin's bed. "Don't knock it over this time. There's only so much I can cook. If you knock it over, the baby will go hungry," Huasi Qian warned. Huamin remained silent. After that, Huasi Qian returned to the dining table and ate the simple meal with relish. Huamin looked at the fish in his bowl and felt a little sad. She remembered that when she was young, there was a time when her family wasn't doing very well. At that time, Uncle Jing had gone out to work and hadn't returned. She and her younger brother still had to go to school and eat. Her mother had to live frugally. The three of them ate mostly potatoes and cabbage. Later on, in order to supplement her nutrition, her mother woke up early to buy cheap fish from the fishermen by the sea. When they got home, they would make soup for her and Jixin, and her mother would eat the fish head. At that time, she and her brother were still young. Jixin even asked her mother, "Mom, why do you always eat fish heads?" His mother said that the fish head was delicious, but when he grew up, he realized that there was no meat in the fish head. It was just a lie that their mother told them about her true love. All these years, although her adoptive mother misunderstood Huamin because of what happened back then, her heart was kind. She raised Huamin like her own daughter. Huamin would always remember this kindness in his heart. He didn't alienate Jixin and her adoptive mother just because he got in touch with a professor in Luoyan. Now, Huasiqian was a man of noble status who ate delicacies every day. Yet, he had to come to this deserted island with her and live a simple life. She really didn't understand. Was he really happy doing this? Huamin was silent for a long time. In the end, he compromised for the sake of the child in his stomach. He picked up his chopsticks and began to eat slowly. Not far away, Huasiqian smiled warmly. No matter what Huamin did, he would never be angry. He was always patient. He didn't know what was wrong with him. In the past, he always said that Huamin was Qin Chu's and Su Yu's weakness. But it was also his fatal weakness. Ian seemed to have seen through this. If he didn't take Mian away, Ian would use Huamin to threaten him. Huasiqian, on the other hand, would never allow something like that to happen. South Hill Manor. Sis, who is this old man? As soon as Little Bean walked in, she saw Pudding and an old man sitting on the sofa. They seemed to be studying something. Chapter 30-34. Little Bean, you're back. The professor looked at the little girl who looked exactly like Pudding and was very happy. How do you know my name? Little Bean was quite cautious. Of course I do. Not only do I know your name, but I also know your age, your birthday, and what you like to eat. What's going on? Are you a spy? Little Bean glared at the old man in an unfriendly manner. When Suyu sent someone to bring Little Bean home, the little girl was overjoyed. Thinking that her daddy had woken up, she packed her things and ran into the car. However, the moment she entered the house, she saw an old man she didn't know. Little Bean, don't talk nonsense. Do you know who he is? Pudding stood up. Who? I'm telling you. You can't tell anyone, not even in front of Handsome Sue. I'll tell you if you promise. So mysterious? Little Bean was puzzled. Can you do it or not? Pudding looked at her sister with a serious expression. Okay. Qin Zhao Zhao. You're pretty, and everything you say is right. Little Bean began to tease her again. Little Bean, this is Grandpa. What? Grandpa? Little Bean was shocked. Yeah. Pudding nodded. Fuck. Am I seeing a ghost? Didn't Grandpa die many years ago? Little Bean remembered that her grandma always said that her grandpa had died many years ago. Although she didn't know how her grandpa died, it seemed to have something to do with her mommy. Because every time she talked about this matter, Mommy's expression seemed to be quite sad. Are you crazy? He's not that grandpa. Pudding was exasperated when Little Bean thought it was Jingda. How many grandpas do we have? Isn't there one grandpa for each of us? Little Bean was even more confused. I'll explain it to you later. Little Bean, do you remember Auntie? Pudding walked over and asked Little Bean. At the mention of Auntie, Little Bean couldn't suppress the excitement on her face. Of course, Auntie is very powerful and very rich. Little Bean gestured exaggeratedly. That was because she and her sister had a few expensive gifts, and they were all given by their aunt. You're such a money grubber when it comes to money. I'm telling you. Auntie said that we can't tell anyone that Grandpa is back. Grandpa is back to help Daddy with the surgery and take care of us. If we accidentally leak it, Grandpa and us will be in danger. Even Handsome Sue can't tell anyone, got it? I understand. Little Bean immediately understood what her sister meant. Although his sister didn't say it clearly, It was obvious that Grandpa and Little Aunt were in cahoots. Otherwise, Big Sister wouldn't keep mentioning Little Aunt. You two do look more like your father. Your mother isn't as pretty. The professor looked at his two granddaughters carefully, his eyes full of love. Isn't that obvious? My daddy's genes are very powerful. This time, it was Little Bean's turn to be proud. Little Bean, I heard that you like to eat all kinds of cakes? The professor asked. You know quite a lot, old man. Seeing her sister was about to scold her, Little Bean immediately changed her words. I mean, you know quite a lot, Grandpa. Ha ha ha. You're a mischievous child. You're very naughty, just like your Andy when she was young. The professor wasn't angry. Instead, he laughed happily. I'll make dessert for you tonight, okay? Tiramisu? The professor asked. Deal. Little Bean was so excited that she threw the small bag in her hand to the ground and nodded repeatedly. I don't want it. I'll get fat if I eat desserts all the time. Little Bean pouted. Then Grandpa will make you fruit salad and steak. Beef will make you fat. Okay. Little Bean nodded. To be honest, the twins were notoriously difficult to please, but the professor enjoyed it. At this moment, the professor's watch beeped. He pressed the start button. Then, Lu Yan's image appeared in the air. She was wearing a camouflage military uniform and looked valiant. Dad, you're here, right? Lu Yan asked. Chapter 30-35. Yeah. The professor nodded. Have you seen Pudding and Little Bean? Lu Yan asked impatiently. Auntie, we're here. Pudding waved her hands excitedly. Auntie, Annie, I'm here. Little Bean was even more excited than Pudding. She ran over and waved her hands wildly beside the professor. Ha ha ha. Little cutie, I finally see you awake today. Lu Yan laughed. Huh, that sounds weird. You sound like you've seen me sleep before. Little Bean's brain worked quickly. Lu Yan smiled, but didn't say anything. Andy, where are you? I'm in South Africa. South Africa? Is it Brazil? Do you want to do a samba dance for me? Little Bean asked jokingly. Idiot. I said I'm in South Africa, not South America. This is South America, okay? I told you to study the geography, but you didn't listen. How embarrassing. Pudding corrected her. Annie, look, Qin Zhao Zhao always bullies me when Mommy isn't home, Little Bean complained. Ha, you only know how to complain and don't know how to control yourself. What do you think? Is your grandpa handsome in person? Lu Yan teased. Compared to my grandpa, he's a little handsome. Compared to my daddy, he's definitely not handsome. Little Bean covered her mouth and laughed. I know my place. Compared to your grandpa, I'm not going to compare myself to your daddy. The professor was also very funny. Dad, I'm relieved that you're here. How's brother-in-law's condition? Have you seen him? Yeah, I've seen it. It's basically the same as the information you sent me. The quack doctors in China are not bad. When are you going to do this surgery? Lu Yan asked. I'm not in a hurry. I need to detoxify him first. The surgery is simple, but the detoxification is a little difficult. I plan to do experiments tonight and test the medicine. Okay, I'm sure nothing can stop you, Dad. Lu Yan smiled. Any news about your sister? The professor was still worried about Hua Min's disappearance. Not yet. I've sent people to investigate, but there's no news yet. What about Ian? Is there any movement? Yeah, I poked Ian's hornet's nest this time. Haha, he's chasing me all over the world. Lu Yan laughed hysterically. You're funny. Don't be too careless. Be careful, the professor warned. I know, Dad. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Is Xiao Fei still beside you? Yeah. That guy is eating and drinking my food. He's my lackey now. With him around, I feel much more at ease. All right, that's it then. Wait, I need to talk to my nieces. Lu Yan was reluctant to leave. The professor pointed the camera at the two children. Pudding, Little Bean, listen to Grandpa. Daddy will wake up soon. Okay. Pudding and Little Bean nodded. Where's Annie? I've ordered many people to look for your mommy, so don't be sad. I'm sure your mommy will be back soon. Lu Yan comforted the two kids. Annie, you're so nice. Little Bean began to flatter her. You're such a sweet talker. Lu Yan smiled. Auntie, you have to take good care of yourself. When Mommy comes back, can you come and celebrate with us? Pudding invited. Okay, when your mommy comes back and daddy wakes up, everything will be over. I'll come back and celebrate with you for 3 days and 3 nights, Lu Yin said. Then we'll wait for you. Pudding nodded obediently. Okay. Lu Yin hung up the phone with a smile. She leaned against the dilapidated wall of the factory behind her, her right hand gripping the pistol tightly. There are about 15 people outside. They have heavy machine guns, so it's dangerous to break through from the front. Retreat from the back while I fight with them. Then I'll go to the dock to find you. If I'm not there in 10 minutes, you can leave by yourself, Xiao Fei said. Chapter 3036. Fuck, you want to play hero with me? Xiao Fei, do you think this is a movie? Lu Yin stared at Xiao Fei with wide eyes. Yin, this isn't a movie. This is a real gun. Fuck off, real guns and bullets. Don't talk to me about useless stuff. I've been hunted since I was 5 years old. I've been exposed to more bullets than you've eaten rice. Don't talk to me about real guns and bullets. If I was afraid of death, I wouldn't be alive today. Lu Yin was angry. I know you're not afraid of death. But the problem is I don't want you to die. So you want to die? Lu Yin was still angry. I didn't say I wanted to die. I said I'd cover the retreat. You go first. I'll find you later. Fuck you. I'm not going. If you want to stay, we'll stay together. If you want to leave, we'll leave together. Lu Yin was determined. To be honest, Lu Yin was a very, very tough person. Xiao Fei had been with her for many years, but she never said anything romantic to him. She also didn't act coquettishly like other women. Basically, her life was filled with fighting and killing. It wasn't a performance or a rehearsal. Every time she fought, she risked her life. Xiao Fei loved Lu Yin and felt sorry for her. So, he would rather offend his family and fall out with his father to wander the world with her. Then every time they fought, his heart would not be calm. He was worried about Lu Yin's safety. So, when he sensed danger, he would let Lu Yin go first. This was a man's way to protect the woman he loved. Yin. Xiao Fei wanted to say something, but was interrupted by Lu Yin. You become a coward. It's just 15 people. What are you afraid of? Back then, I could easily kill 20 to 30 of them with my bare hands. Killing people was as easy as eating and drinking for Lu Yin. She was very familiar with it. It's different this time. Yin, they're carrying long-range heavy weapons. Their firepower is very strong. If they destroy it from afar, we'll all die here. This lousy factory won't last more than 3 minutes before it's destroyed. What's there to be afraid of? The worst outcome is death. When I came to this world, all I learned was the law of the jungle. The strong and the weak are the strong. If I don't kill them, then they kill me. It's such a simple principle. Psycho Qiao, I'm not afraid. What I'm afraid of is that you'll die here if I leave alone. Before Xiao Fei could answer, Lu Yin quickly leaned over and kissed him on the cheek with her blood-stained lips. We'll be fine. Trust me. Xiao Fei was pleasantly surprised by Lu Yin's sudden kiss. Before she could recover from her joy, she saw Lu Yin take out something that looked like chewing gum from her purse. What do you want? Xiao Fei had a bad feeling. Give him surprise. Lu Yin chuckled. Yin, Psycho Qiao, I'm fine. Don't worry. It's said that good people don't live long and bad people don't live long enough. A bad person like me has killed so many people. I'm so bad that I'll go to hell 100 times. Maybe I just don't want to live long enough. Then, Lu Yin stuffed the gun into Xiao Fei's arms. I'll go out in a moment. You check for 10 seconds and then run out, Lu Yin said as she loaded the gun in her other hand. No, I'll go. Xiao Fei grabbed Lu Yin's hand tightly. You can't do that. It's not that I'm looking down on you, but there aren't many people in the world who can dodge so quickly. And I was the best student in the West Point combat exercise back then. My average military dodging speed was less than 1. 2 seconds. Amazing, right? Then, Lu Yin smiled. When Xiao Fei wasn't paying attention, she suddenly let go of his hand and ran out at an extremely fast speed. Xiao Fei followed her and ran a few steps to catch up with her. He heard a loud explosion. It was so loud that his ears felt like they were going to explode. Chapter 30-37. Luyan didn't tell him what the chewing gum was, but she didn't tell him what it was. But Xiaofei knew it was explosives. Luyan's hobby was to study all kinds of explosives. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been targeted by so many terrorists who wanted to use her for their own purposes. Even many big drug lords in Europe and America had tried to hire her. Some even offered to buy Luyan's explosives. But judging from Luyan's expression just now, he knew she wasn't confident this time. Sure enough, when Xiaofei rushed out, the outside had turned into a sea of fire. The enemies outside were all lying on the ground, no one alive. The heavy weapons they brought didn't seem to be used in a hurry. Xiao Yan! Xiao Yan! Xiaofei shouted in panic. His heart was bleeding. The thick fire burned, and Xiaofei heard the sound of the explosion. She sent the bomb out so quickly, he guessed that Luyan must have stuck the chewing gum explosive to the bullet head. Then, she fired at the center of the enemy. But because she was close, Luyan was also affected. Xiaofei was like a helpless and desperate child, running through the fire without caring about anything. He called Luyan's name over and over again. Luyan, answer me. Luyan, if you dare to die, I'll never forgive you. Luyan, you heartless little bitch. Luyan, you bitch. You heartless woman. You don't keep your word. We agreed to be together. Xiaofei's face was covered in tears. Finally, he found Luyan under a big tree. She was lying there, looking like she was dying. Xiaofei ran over, seeing Luyan's face and back covered in blood. He was dumbfounded. Yan. Xiaofei's hands began to tremble in excitement. Why are you screaming? I'm not dead yet. Luyan's voice was weak, but he was lucky to be able to hear her. Yan. Xiaofei was pleasantly surprised. Psycho Xiao, you look so fucking ugly when you cry. Don't cry again. Xiaofei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Psycho Xiao, if I really die, you can't fall in love with other women. Do you hear me? I'll haunt you even if I become a ghost. I'll crawl through your window at night. You won't die. Xiaofei picked her up gently and held her carefully in his arms. He used his own face to press against her blood-stained face. He was heartbroken. Such a beautiful and cheerful girl. He was only in his 20s. Why do you have to live such a hellish life? For the first time, Xiaofei resented God for being so unfair. Cough, cough, cough. Luyan coughed violently, and a lot of blood came out her mouth. Xiaofei's heart sank again. Yin, how are you? Damn it. We were too close to the explosion and almost got caught in it. Check and see if they're all dead, Luyan reminded him. They're all dead. Not a single one survived. That's good. Let's go. I think I hurt my lungs. I need to clean them up. Okay, I'll take you to the hospital. Xiaofei picked her up, his eyes still filled with tears. Are you stupid? Don't go to the hospital. Ian's people will definitely know. What should we do if we don't go to the hospital? Just do the surgery for me and release the blood from my lungs. Luyan said in a small voice. Me? Are you kidding me? Xiaofei broke down again. He was a layman and knew nothing about medicine. Psycho Xiao, I'm so tired. I want to sleep. Luyan's eyelids began to feel heavy. No, Yin, please don't sleep. Xiaofei panicked again. Chapter 30-38. But I'm tired. It was obvious that Luyan was exhausted. I know, but you have to hold on, okay? Psycho Xiao, do you love me? Yes, yes, yes. Xiaofei blurted out the word love 3 times. Then will you marry me? I'll marry you. Xiaofei answered firmly. Then let's have many children, okay? Maybe I'll be like my sister and give birth to twins. Okay, you can have as many as you want. Where should we go to get married? Bali, the Maldives, Tahiti, Fiji, Las Vegas? Luyan began to imagine a beautiful future. Anywhere is good, as long as I can be with you forever. Xiaofei comforted Lu Yin as he looked for a safe place to hide. Finally, he found a remote cold storage room. He pried open the door and carried Lu Yin in. The cold storage room seemed to slow down the festering of her wounds. You can't go to the hospital. I'll get a doctor to help you. No, I'll die if I get a doctor. I don't trust their skills. Xiaofei, you do it. Lu Yin grabbed Xiao Fei's hand and said weakly, "But I'm afraid I can't." "You can. I'll tell you what to do." "I can't. I don't have any experience." Xiao Fei didn't dare to use Lu Yin as a guinea pig since it was a matter of life and death. They were in a stalemate in the cold storage room. In a presidential suite, Ian was drinking coffee. A young girl in a maid uniform knelt on the ground, trembling, with her head lowered. "Did you make this coffee?" "Yes, sir." "Okay, it tastes good." Ian praised in fluent English. "Thank you for your compliments, sir." The maid seemed excited. "But who told you to put milk in my coffee, huh?" Ian lowered his head and leaned close to the maid's face, asking her gently. I think this kind of coffee will taste better if you put some fresh milk in it," the maid replied. "You think? You're trying to influence me with your ideas?" "I don't dare. You're really making me angry. You're quite likable, but why do you look like you're going to die young?" "Sir, I'm sorry. I'll make another cup for you." The maid was so scared that she kowtowed and begged for mercy. "I think the reason why this coffee doesn't taste good is because it's missing something." Ian inched closer to the maid's face mysteriously. "What thing?" 3 seconds later, the maid felt a chill on her neck. She saw that the ring on Ian's finger had been opened. A small but extremely sharp blade slid across the maid's throat. Blood instantly flowed out. Ian held the coffee cup and caught the blood that flowed down. The coffee instantly turned dark red. The maid seemed to be like a statue, kneeling there motionlessly, unable to say a word. After Ian filled the cup to the brim, he raised it to his lips and took a sip. It tastes pretty good this time." "Sir, there's a situation over there." A subordinate came in to report. "Speak." "Our men are all dead." "How is that possible? Didn't they use long-range heavy weapons? Are they useless? How could they not catch Lu Yin?" Ian looked up and frowned slightly. "Lu Yin used some kind of explosives to kill all our men, but we found Lu Yan's blood at the scene. She seems to be badly injured." "The girl is injured?" Ian asked excitedly. Chapter 3039. Yes, Lu Yin must be severely injured as well. "Severely injured? Who told you to injure her?" Ian stood up without warning and raised his hand to slap his subordinate, causing him to feel dizzy. His boss's mood was always unpredictable. "Sir, didn't you say we should use long-range heavy weapons?" The subordinate was also confused. "I meant to force her to lower her head to me and beg for mercy." "Who asked you to kill her?" Ian seemed very unhappy. Yes, Lu Yin was the girl he was most interested in. If she died so easily, the rest of his life would be so boring. Even though she was so naughty, blew up his plane, and forced him to jump out of a parachute, he still didn't want her to die. "Sir, I'm sorry. We misunderstood. If something like this happens again, don't come back to see me. Just jump into the sea and apologize." Ian was slightly angry. "Yes, sir. Since she's severely injured, she can't have gone far. I don't think she'll leave this place. You guys take your men and investigate all the hospitals and illegal clinics. Don't let any of the unemployed doctors go. Lu Yin will definitely ask for help." "Yes, sir. If you find Lu Yin, keep her alive. Do you understand?" "Yes, sir. By the way, what should we do with the man beside her? That kid for the Chow family? Haha, catch him as well. I'll do that piece of trash Xiao in a favor." "Yes, sir." Ian thought Lu Yin would find a doctor to operate on her since she was so badly injured. Even if she didn't go to the hospital, she would find a doctor to treat her wounds. But Lu Yin didn't. If Ian could think of something, so could she. She would never let Ian's men find her, even if she was beaten to death. In a remote cold storage, Xiao Fei held a sterilized dagger in his hand, and his fingers trembled slightly. "Don't be afraid. It's simple." Lu Yin smiled weakly. "You're still smiling? It's not simple at all." Xiao Fei was on the verge of breaking down. Because it was Lu Yin, he didn't dare to take any risks. "Good girl, don't be afraid. If I make a mistake, dying in your hands is much better than dying in the hands of that psycho Ian." Lu Yin joked. "Get lost. Don't say such ominous words. You'll be fine." The last thing Xiao Fei wanted to hear was Lu Yin talking about death. "All right, I understand. Young Master Qiao, young Master Qiao. Do it, all right? Didn't I draw the location of the lungs for you? You just need to make a small incision there and let out the blood that's accumulated inside. Then it'll be fine. It's so simple. Are we really going to do this? Xiao Fei hesitated. What else? Are you going to collect my corpse? You're still talking? Xiao Fei was furious. Okay. I won't say any more. Big brother, hurry up and do it. It'll be dark soon, and your vision won't be good. It'll be more difficult. Yin, can you really do it without anesthesia? Xiao Fei looked at Lu Yin with heartache. At this critical moment, he had to cut open Lu Yan's wound. That was a direct hit to the lungs, piercing through many layers of skin and nerves. That kind of pain, let alone a girl, even a man wouldn't be able to bear it, right? Even Guan Yu's bone scraping was not as bad as this. You're underestimating me. This is a piece of cake for me, okay? Lu Yin smiled. Then bear with it. I'm going to start. Xiao Fei gritted his teeth and decided to give it a try. If he delayed any longer, Lu Yan's life would be in danger. Chapter 30-40. At South Hill Manor, Grandpa, when can we eat? Little Bean asked impatiently as she circled the professor in the kitchen. Pudding sat calmly in the living room, watching TV and analyzing the stock market. She heard from Suyu that after Hua Xiqian disappeared, the Hua Corporation basically collapsed. However, the news hadn't been released yet. The outside world didn't know that Hua Xiqian had finished his apprenticeship and that the Hua Corporation was only an empty shell. Pudding held a lot of Hua Corporation shares. She planned to sell them all when the market opened tomorrow and cash out. Okay, right away. The professor smiled. Grandpa, you lied. You just said it would be done soon. Little Bean pouted. Huh, little girl, are you starving? The professor squatted down and hugged Little Bean, his face full of love. Yeah, when I heard we could go home, Grandma Sue asked me to stay for dinner. I didn't eat. Okay, go out and call your sister. Wash your hands and wait at the dining table. I'll bring the food out. Okay. Hearing that it was time to eat, Little Bean ran out like the wind. Sis, wash your hands. Grandpa said it's time to eat. Okay. Pudding nodded. Putting down the tablet in her hand, she got up and walked to the sink. After washing their hands, the two sisters sat at the dining table obediently and waited. Sure enough, the professor brought them a bowl of tiramisu. It looked even better than the one sold at the bakery. Grandpa, did you really make this? Little Bean couldn't believe it. Yeah, how is it? It looks good. I can't judge it until I finish eating. Little Bean licked her lips. Okay, I'll wait for you to grade Grandpa. Then, the professor brought over a plate of black pepper steak and fried ham and placed it in front of Pudding. Thank you, Grandpa. Pudding was much calmer than Little Bean. Then, the professor went into the kitchen and brought out 2 small bowls of noodles. Here, one for each of you. What's this? Little Bean looked at it curiously. I made noodles with vegetables and eggs for you. You won't be full just from eating that. Grandpa, you're so good at cooking. You can cook anything. That's right. Grandpa knows a lot of things. The professor looked at his granddaughter proudly. Grandpa, are you really my mommy's father? Little Bean suddenly asked. Yes, what's wrong? But doesn't a person only have one father? If you're mommy's father, then what about the grandfather who passed away? Little Bean thought about it for a whole night, but she still couldn't figure out the connection, so she was very curious. I can't explain all of this in a few sentences. You'll slowly understand in the future. The professor smiled. Grandpa, why aren't you eating? Pudding saw that her grandpa only made food for the two of them, but there was nothing in front of him. Grandpa is old. He can't eat too much at night. He'll feel uncomfortable. I see. Grandpa, have some ice cream then. I'll get it for you. It's very sweet. Then, Little Bean ran to the fridge and opened it. She took out a box of ice cream and placed it in front of the professor. Okay, Grandpa, have some ice cream. The professor used to think that he would have to risk his life for scientific research. He never thought that one day he would be able to take care of 2 granddaughters. They lived the most ordinary life, ate the most ordinary food, and enjoyed the happiest time. If Huamin was here, this scene would be even more heartwarming. Thinking of this, the professor's eyes filled with tears. Grandpa, why are you crying? Are you tired from cooking for us? Little Bean asked. Chapter 3041. No, Grandpa isn't tired, but Grandpa is crying. Little Bean pointed at the old man's eyes and said, Grandpa thinks that it would be great if your mommy was home. Our family would be so happy. The professor let out a long sigh. Grandpa, Daddy will find Mommy when he wakes up. He'll find Mommy for sure. Don't cry. Seeing her grandpa sad, Little Bean comforted him. Yeah, Daddy's gonna make the antidote now. Let's wake your daddy up first. Then the old man turned around and took out a toolbox. He sat on the operating table in the living room and studied something carefully. Sis, Little Bean moved closer to Pudding. Do you want to eat my steak? Pudding glanced at Little Bean's face. Am I such a shallow person? I just want to say that you don't think Grandpa looks like Mommy in any way. Of course, he's Mommy's father. How can they not look like each other? Pudding lowered her head and continued eating her steak. When I went to Grandma's house, she showed me a picture of the deceased Grandpa. That Grandpa didn't look like Mommy at all. Instead, he looked like Uncle Jishin, Little Bean said mysteriously. So, Pudding continued to ask calmly. So, I came up with a conclusion. Little Bean lowered her voice and said, What conclusion? That's Uncle Jishin and Mommy. They don't have the same father. After the DNA test, it's possible that Mommy was adopted by the deceased Grandpa. Of course, you don't need to tell me such a simple thing. I found all these important clues, okay? Little Bean patted her chest and said proudly, You didn't need to find out. It's the truth. Then tell me something if you have the guts. Little Bean began to provoke her sister. Don't you think Andy looks like Mommy? Pudding said, Hey, you're right. Mommy isn't as pretty as Andy, but they do look alike in some ways. Hearing her sister's words, Little Bean became even more excited. Sis, yeah? Is the steak good? Little Bean licked her lips. That's why you want to eat my steak, isn't it, Chin Moo Moo? Pudding raised her head in disdain. Hee hee, don't think of me like that. Anyway, you're always talking about losing weight and maintaining your figure. You can't finish this much anyway, so just give me a few bites. You already ate a tiramisu. That's a lot of calories, and you still want to eat steak? Pudding scolded. I'm not full yet. I'm not full yet. Don't you still have noodles? Pudding rolled her eyes. But how can noodles taste better than steak? Little Bean said confidently. Pudding was so angry that she laughed. She carefully cut off a piece of beef and brought it to Little Bean's mouth. Here. Thank you, sister. Flatterer. Pudding turned her head. At this moment, his phone rang. Pudding put down her fork, picked up her phone, and answered the video call. Handsome Sue, what are you guys doing? Sue asked. We're eating. That old man made us a sumptuous supper, Pudding said. Handsome Sue, look. He can even make tiramisu. It's amazing. Little Bean held up her cake and showed it off. Sue had an indescribable feeling in his heart. You two are so close to an outsider that you don't want Uncle Sue anymore, right? Chapter 3042. So, Handsome Sue, are you jealous? Little Bean covered her mouth and laughed. Bullshit. I'm not jealous. Sue refused to admit it. Handsome Sue, what are you doing? Little Bean changed the subject. I'm thinking about you guys at home. You two heartless brats. You left just like that. Look, your grandma Sue is crying. Then, Sue turned to his mother behind him. Sure enough, Lady Sue was secretly wiping her tears. The twins had lived here for a few days, and the house was filled with laughter. Now that he was suddenly gone, Mrs. Sue was not used to it, so she thought of him. When she saw the twins' unfinished food and used toothbrushes at home, she started crying. Grandma Sue, don't cry. We'll visit you in a few days. You can come visit us anytime. Okay. Grandma Sue will visit you in a few days. Lady Sue looked at the kids on the screen and quickly wiped her tears. Little foodie, you can't eat too much at night, especially desserts. Your mommy said you'll have tooth decay. Did you forget? Sue reminded her. I know. Little Bean seemed a bit impatient, and perfunctorily replied, Pudding, by the way, I have something to tell you. Go ahead, handsome Sue. Pudding turned the phone and looked at Suyu. Do you still have a lot of shares of the whole corporation? Yes. When the market opens tomorrow morning, sell them all. Suyu said, I know, handsome Sue. I'm ready. I was going to do it even if you didn't tell me. Okay, I'll go to the company tomorrow to discuss the auction of the whole corporation. Once the company is sold, the shares will definitely plummet. Okay, I'll sell them tomorrow morning. Pudding nodded obediently. Wow, sis, does that mean you'll get a lot of money? Little Bean came up and smiled mysteriously. What do you want? Do you want to give me some money, rich sis? Little Bean tried to act cute. No, Qin Zhao Zhao, you're so stingy. You haven't sent me a WeChat red packet in a long time, Little Bean complained. You don't need to spend money. What do you want to buy? I'll buy it for you. Why do you have financial freedom, but I don't? Little Bean pouted. Because I know how to trade stocks and manage money. Pudding said proudly. All right, stop arguing. So you felt a headache coming on. Handsome Sue, I want a WeChat red packet. Okay, I'll send it to you. But tell me, why do you need a WeChat red packet? Suyu teased Little Bean. Before Little Bean could answer, Pudding said with disdain, she spent all her money on Gao Buyuan's Batman. Uffed. You can't do that, Little Bean. You're a socialite. How can you throw yourself at man? I didn't, Little Bean explained angrily. Ha! Is that kid from Gao Rant's family so charming? I can't believe they want us to rack our brains to get money, Suyu continued. Hey, handsome Sue, stop it. My sister gave Wei Yinshu a Naruto comic on Taobao. Why don't you scold her? That's because Wei Yinshu gave me money. I helped him. I didn't give him money, Pudding explained. You two are so good at acting. Okay, stop talking nonsense with me. I want to ask you, did the old man at home bully you? You mean the foreigner? Little Bean was about to blurt out. Ahem. Pudding coughed to remind them. Oh, you mean the old man from abroad? Little Bean said with a smile. Yeah, did he mistreat you? So you seem to be hostile toward the professor. Chapter 3043. He abused us, Little Bean said. Suyu? Question mark. He made us cakes and steaks in the middle of the night. He abused our weight, Little Bean said happily. Suyu, handsome Sue, don't listen to Little Bean's nonsense. He didn't abuse us. He's very nice to us and made us dinner, Little Bean added. That's good. I'm relieved. So you thought maybe he was overthinking. He was glad that the two kids were fine. Go to bed early. Don't stay up late. I know. You too. Good girls. I'll hang up now. After Suyu hung up, Little Bean finished eating. She stood up and walked up to the professor. Little Bean, you can't touch these. They're all poisonous. Grandpa, why do you want to make these poisonous drugs? Because I need to make the antidote for your daddy's poison. Wow, Grandpa is a doctor? Little Bean looked at him with admiration. Doctor? Kind of. The professor smiled lovingly. What about your auntie? Is she a doctor too? Little Bean continued to gossip. Your auntie? She's a scientist. She's so advanced. What does she study? She studies everything. The professor didn't tell Little Bean that Lu Yin was born to study explosives. Grandpa, is this purple one more poisonous, or is this pink one more poisonous? Little Bean looked at the colored liquid on the table and was very interested. Little Bean, do you want to learn? Can I? Little Bean asked in pleasant surprise. Of course. If you like, I'll teach you. When you grow up, you could be a doctor like your mommy. Really? Don't lie to me. Haha, Grandpa never lies. Okay, I'll learn. Grandpa, you must teach me well. When I master it, I'll be able to surpass my sister in one thing. Then everyone won't say that my sister is better than me. So that's why you want to learn, little girl. The professor touched Little Bean's head lovingly. After Little Bean finished her noodles, she quietly cleaned up the plates she and her sister had used. Then he went to the kitchen and cleaned up. Because she was small, she couldn't reach the sink, so she moved a small stool and stood on it. Then she carefully washed it bit by bit. On the other hand, his sister was in the living room, being carried by the professor. She was able to recognize many unknown medicinal ingredients. The sisters did not reject the professor because they were unfamiliar with him at all. Perhaps it was because blood was thicker than water. It could be said that the twins hit it off with the professor at first sight. Suyu arranged for people to observe closely from the outside. From time to time, they would send the images inside to Suyu. Suyu was relieved after reading it. Now that the twins were gone, he didn't have to stay at home anymore. After eating some of his mother's wontons, he got up and left. You, aren't you going to sleep at home tonight? Lady Su looked at her son reluctantly. Well, I'll go back to my place. I still have to wake up early tomorrow. Mom, you should go to bed early too. Okay, be careful when you drive. Suyu nodded and drove away from the villa. After returning to his private villa, Suyu received a WeChat message before he could change his shoes. President Su, are you asleep? What's up? Suyu replied to Nie Lingxian tiredly. There's something I want to tell you because I think it might be useful to you. What is it? After changing his shoes, Suyu walked to the fridge and took out a can of cold beer. Then, he sat down on the sofa and drank. Chapter 3044. My sister contacted me. They're on their way back. They're taking a connecting flight and will arrive tomorrow afternoon. They? Su Lingwen noticed the key word. Yes, my sister and her boyfriend. Oh. Suyu nodded and replied with a simple "oh." Last time you called my sister because you wanted to talk to Rick, right? So, I think their return will be useful to you. Okay, I got it. Thank you. You're welcome. If you need my help, just tell me, President Su. Nie Lingxian was always so patient and gentle with Suyu. Okay. After replying, Suyu tossed his cell phone aside and drank his beer quietly. Nie Lingxian didn't want to give up when there was nothing to talk about. President Su, you haven't been to the company recently. Did something happen? Yeah, something happened to a friend, Suyu answered vaguely. I can tell you're not in a good mood. Yes, the company is fine. When you're not here, we work hard and don't embarrass Imperial Star. Okay, no matter what Nie Lingxian said, Suyu answered word by word, which made Nie Lingxian feel awkward. Okay, I won't disturb you. Rest early. Okay, President Su, my new movie will premiere in a few days. If the results are good, can you come and celebrate with us? Finally, Nie Lingxian plucked up her courage and asked Suyu. Before Suyu could answer, she continued, It's my first time acting in such a big movie, so I'm a little worried that people won't buy it. I'm worried that my acting skills aren't good enough. But the director said that there's a high chance that the movie will reach 1 billion yuan. If it does, can you come and celebrate with us with champagne? Nie Lingxian's voice was filled with anticipation. We'll see how it goes. In the end, Suyu didn't give her the answer she wanted the most. Okay, then, good night. After sending the message, Suyu scrolled down his phone. She continued scrolling until she reached Hua Min's profile picture. His name was Dr. Hua. He liked being addressed as Dr. Hua, and he also liked to call him Hua Min. She also liked the way Hua Min wore black-rimmed glasses and a white coat. Now that she thought about it, after knowing Hua Min for so long, the happiest time was when he was hospitalized. At that time, he was always looking for trouble to bully Hua Min, but he was always bullied by Hua Min. However, he enjoyed it. Every day, he looked forward to Dr. Hua coming to check on him and having a war of words with her. Out of all the women he knew, Hua Min had the most vicious tongue. If he were to insult you, he would be able to make you cry without even using a single curse word. He would be so embarrassed that he would be unable to show his face. However, he later realized that Hua Min was a person who was very willing to leave others some leeway. She wouldn't be too harsh with her words. How could he not like a girl who had a vicious tongue on the outside, but was still kind on the inside? As he looked at the profile picture, his eyes gradually became blurry. He picked up his phone, pressed it, and began to speak. Dr. Hua, come back quickly. Stop messing around. Everyone misses you. If you come back, I won't like you anymore. I won't cause you any more embarrassment or trouble. I'll just watch you from afar, as long as you come back safely. After he finished speaking, Suyu let go of his phone and sent a voice message. However, he knew that Hua Min wouldn't be able to see it because Hua Min didn't take her phone with her. It was always in Gao Rant's office at the Municipal Public Security Bureau. At this thought, Suyu felt that he was being too impulsive, so he deleted the voice message. Then, the doorbell rang ding-dong. Ding-dong. Chapter 3045. Suyu stood up tiredly. He was too lazy to open the door. Sure enough, when he opened the door, he saw Tang Chuan. Other than him, no one else would come looking for Suyu in the middle of the night. Don't you sleep at night? Or did Qin Ning kick you out? Suyu glared at Tang Chuan and asked. Nonsense. My Ning is so gentle. Why would she kick me out? I'm just worried that you're in a bad mood and bored, so I came to keep you company. Get lost. I don't need you to keep me company. Hee hee. You really are drinking alone. Look at what I brought you. Tang Chuan walked in with a bag of food. There were chicken feet, peanuts, canned fish, ham, and other dishes that went with alcohol. I don't want to eat. I don't have an appetite. Suyu leaned against the sofa. I know, after my sister-in-law went missing, you've been distracted. Your sister-in-law? Don't be so shameless, okay? Are you married to Qin Ning? Why are you calling her sister-in-law? For some reason, Suyu felt weird when he heard Tang Chuan call Huimin his sister-in-law. Haha, you're jealous of this. You. Menopause is coming. No, your period is coming. It's scarier than a woman's period. Fuck you. Only Tang Chuan and Suyu bicker the most, but the atmosphere was no longer as depressing. Just then, the doorbell rang. Just as Suyu was wondering who it was, Tang Chuan stood up to open the door. He saw Wei Liao walk in with a box of beer in his hand. Oh Wei, why are you here? Suyu was puzzled. This guy said he'll drink with you tonight and won't go home until he's drunk, Wei Liao said. It's not like I'm out of love. Suyu smiled helplessly. But you're even scarier than a breakup. Lord Su, how long has it been since you last worked at your company? Ever since Qin Chu and Huomin got into trouble. You seem to have become dispirited, Wei Liao said seriously. Sigh, I just didn't expect things to turn out like this. Where are the twins? Still at your house? Tang Chuan asked. Let's talk about this later. Ning Ning's father will be back tomorrow. Her parents know about this too. To be honest, Ning Ning has been crying all day since this happened. I've been feeling really depressed. So, tonight, no matter who it is, let's not go home until we're drunk, Tang Chuan said. Yes. Suyu nodded. By the way, old Wei, how's sister-in-law Xiao Wei? Tang Chuan turned to look at Wei Liao and asked. She's still the same. She's depressed all day. My son, and I don't dare to provoke her. Wei Liao sighed slightly. That's normal. Sister-in-law Xiao Wei and sister-in-law Mian are so close. Sigh, let's not talk about this anymore. Let's drink. The three men started drinking in Suyu's mansion in the middle of the night. Suyu hadn't indulged himself like this in a long time. After finishing a box of beer, Suyu took out a bottle of 1985 Lafite under Tang Chuan's encouragement. In the end, Tang Chuan, who was the happiest, drank until he cried and danced around. Finally, he fell asleep on the sofa, on the bench by the pool. Wei Liao and Suyu were also reeking of alcohol. The two of them leaned against the bench with cigarettes in their hands. Suyu picked up a lighter and lit Wei Liao's cigarette. Then, the two of them looked up at the starry sky in silence. After a long time, Wei Liao finally spoke. Lord Su, I've been wanting to ask you for a long time. Are you tired of loving Huomin? Wei Liao asked word by word. Chapter 3046. Tired? Why would you say that? Suyu froze slightly and seemed to sober up a little. Because even as a bro, I think you're tired. All these years, when Huomin was in trouble, you were always the first one to take the lead. If you handled it well, no one would say it was your work, but if you didn't, you would take the blame. When Huomin was in jail, you held a gun to his head and forced his grandfather to give in. Despite the pressure of public opinion, you saved her. When Qin Chu was in trouble, Hui Xiqian targeted her. You brought her to the Su family to raise the baby until she gave birth. After the baby was born, you had to take care of them from time to time. Now that she's in trouble, you're in charge of taking care of her. Now that you mention it, it does seem like I've done a lot of things. Ha! So you laughed heartily. So, you don't feel tired at all? If I felt tired, I would have been tired a long time ago. I wouldn't have the willpower to persist until now, Suyu said with a smile. So, my obsession with Mion has never been measured by whether it's worth it or not. It's just an instinctive reaction. It's the truest feeling in my heart. Then, Lord Su, you're really a devoted man. Don't call me infatuated. It's only been a few years. When I'm 80 years old and have to walk with a cane, if I still like Huo Mian, then tell me that I'm an infatuated man. After Suyu said this, he and Wei Liao looked at each other and smiled. If I were a woman, I'd definitely marry someone like you in my next life. Yeah, if I were a woman in my next life, I'd also want to marry a man like me, Suyu said. Then, the two men laughed out loud. This was the first time Suyu had let loose since Qin Shu and Huo Mian's accident. Otherwise, with so many things weighing down on his heart, he felt like he was about to explode. The professor did magic tricks and taught Little Bean how to make some interesting chemical reactions. It wasn't until Little Bean was tired that the professor sent the two kids back to their room to sleep. Then, he sat alone in the living room to study the antidote in Qin Shu's body. In a remote cold storage in a country in the Middle East following Lu Yan's instructions, Xiao Fei released the blood in Lu Yan's lungs. During the whole process, Lu Yan bit on a piece of white gauze and didn't make a sound. The knife in Xiao Fei's hand slowly pierced into her internal organs. No one could understand Xiao Fei's feelings. Lu Yan was in pain, but he was in pain 10 times more than Lu Yan. But so what? Under such circumstances, was there any other choice? Lu Yan was sweating from the pain and almost fainted several times. She clenched her fists so tightly that her nails pierced the skin of her palms. Finally, after watching the extravasated blood flow out, Xiao Fei carefully sutured the wound. Yan, are you okay? Okay. At this moment, Lu Yan had difficulty speaking, but she forced herself to nod. I'm afraid that your wound will get infected. I'll go out and buy some antibiotics for you later. No, it's okay. I'll be fine with some liquor. Then, Lu Yan raised her hand with difficulty and pointed at a military-grade water bottle in her purse. It was indeed filled with liquor. Lu Yan had made it herself. Give it to me. Xiao Fei opened the bottle. Lu Yan took it and gulped down 2 mouthfuls of liquor. Then, she coughed violently. Xiao Fei immediately held her in his arms and gently patted her back. Psycho Xiao, we have to get out of here. Ian's men will find us soon. But you just had your wounds stitched up. You can't go too far. Take my watch and go first. Go find my men to pick me up. I'll wait for you here. Then, Lu Yan quickly took off the watch that she never left her body and handed it to Xiao Fei. Chapter 3047. No. Leave now. I'm not leaving. If we leave together. Xiao Fei was as stubborn as Lu Yan. If you don't leave, we'll both die here. Lu Yan looked at Xiao Fei, exasperated and amused. Then let's die here together. Damn it, I haven't lived long enough. I don't want to die. Lu Yan laughed out loud. Yan, we've known each other for so many years. You should know me. How could I leave you behind? Xiao Fei hugged Lu Yan, who was in so much pain. I know, Psycho Xiao. I know all the good you've done for me, so don't force me to leave you behind. No, this is the most rational way. You can move freely now and won't be followed. If you find my men and come back to save me, we can both leave this damn place now. It's not safe for you to be here alone. I'll be fine. You know Ian doesn't really want to kill me. He just wants to catch me. This place is so secluded that they might not be able to find me. In other words, even if they find me, they might not be able to catch me. Who am I? I'm the famous second Mississippi. Lu Yan put her hand on Xiao Fei's. But, Xiao Fei, I want to live. I know you want me to live more, so I'll be fine. You're not abandoning me. It's just that there's no better way right now. I'll take you out with me. If I go out like this, I'll be followed. We'll both be finished, Lu Yan analyzed calmly. Can't the watch send a signal here? Xiao Fei still didn't want to leave Lu Yan. Dummy, if the watch is sent out and Ian's men find out, it'll expose our whereabouts. After you go out, send a signal to my men. Even if Ian's men find out, they won't catch you. After all, your appearance isn't stable." Hearing Lu Yan's words, Xiao Fei fell silent again. He knew Lu Yan was right, but he really couldn't just leave like this. "Psycho Xiao, you're the only one who can save me." Lu Yan looked at him pitifully. Xiao Fei hugged Lu Yan lovingly and gently pressed his face against hers. "Then you have to wait here for me to come back." "Yes, definitely. If anything happens to you, I will never forgive you in the future." "Yes, sir," Lu Yan teased. After a long moment of hesitation, Xiao Fei reached out and took the watch from Lu Yan. Xiao Fei left the 2 pistols to Lu Yan. "These 2 are for you. Keep them for self-defense." "Yes. If there are too many of them, don't fight them head-on. The worst-case scenario is that you'll be caught by Ian. But you have to stay alive. I'll contact the professor and think a way to save you. Don't worry. I won't be caught by that guy so easily." Lu Yan smiled. "Anyway, take care of yourself. I'll be back soon." "All right. I'll listen to you." With that, Xiao Fei stood up and left quickly, not even looking back at Lu Yan. He knew that if he turned back now, he might not be able to get out of here. The 2 of them were trapped here. There was no better way to break out. Ian was still lingering around with so many people and so many heavy weapons. He was determined to catch Lu Yan in a hotel suite. "Sir, we found Lu Yan's whereabouts." Ian's men excitedly reported the news. Chapter 3048. Ian was lying on top of a young girl. Hearing this, he paused for a moment and then stood up. "Sir." The girl's eyes were dazed and full of anticipation. Ian picked up his robe and put it on, ignoring the girl. "Where is she?" "In a cold storage in the northern part of the Mario Islands. Both of them are there." "No, she's alone." "Alone? What about the kid from the Chiao family?" Ian was slightly surprised. "We're still investigating." "Idiot," Ian scolded coldly. "Sir, please calm down. We'll send someone to check it out and make sure it's not a trap. Then, we'll take you there." "No, I'll go now." "But sir, we're still not sure if it's Lu Yan's scheme." His subordinate was anxious. "It's better if it's a scheme. I haven't fought her in a long time. I've been missing that girl." Ian smiled. At South Hill Manor, "Good morning, Grandpa." Pudding came downstairs and saw her grandpa busy at the dining table. "Good morning, Grandpa." Pudding was wearing a flower-patterned princess dress and followed her sister downstairs. "Good morning. Come and eat." "Yay. What did Grandpa make for us this time?" Pudding's eyes lit up at the mention of food. The professor was wearing a dark gray shirt and black slacks. It was clean and neat, and the color was just right for his age. No one would have thought that the famous Professor Lu was actually just an ordinary old man. Pudding sat down. They looked at the sumptuous breakfast on the table. There were 3 bowls of millet and mung bean porridge, 3 fried eggs, 2 grilled sausages, and 2 corn sticks for kids. "Grandpa, did you make all this?" Pudding was full of admiration. "Yeah, you're amazing. You're just like my daddy," Pudding exclaimed. "You didn't forget to mention your daddy when you were praising me. You're my biological son." The professor smiled. "Grandpa, did you make any progress last night?" Pudding was very concerned about her daddy's condition. "Yes, the antidote is almost ready. I'm just missing one thing. I'm going to ask that guy named Suyu for it." "Whatever you need, Handsome Su can get it," Pudding said. "I know. I've already called him. When he sends it over, it will be ready." "Grandpa, can I go to the hospital with you to visit Daddy today?" "You miss Daddy?" "Of course, my sister has been there several times." I haven't been there yet. I want to go. Okay, I'll take you." "Pudding, what about you?" "Grandpa, I won't be going today. I don't have to worry about you and my sister. I'm going to the stock exchange hall today." "What? Is there anything wrong with the stock?" "If we sell all of the Hua Corporation shares, there will be a lot of problems. I need to go with Handsome Sue to deal with it." "All right, then we'll split up. Grandpa will make pepper chicken for you 2 tonight. Can the 2 of you eat spicy food?" Yes. As long as it's food, I'm fine with it." Little Bean raised her hand. "You're going to be as fat as a pig sooner or later." Pudding looked at her sister helplessly. Then, The three of them had a sumptuous breakfast. After breakfast, the professor took Little Bean to the hospital to visit Chin Chu. After Su Yu delivered the professor's medicine, he drove Pudding home. On the way, Pudding was very quiet. She didn't chat with Su Yu as usual. "Pudding, are you in a bad mood?" Su Yu tilted his head and asked as he drove. Chapter 3049. Pudding seemed to be in a heavy mood and only responded with a simple "MHM. What's wrong? Are you unhappy because you're going to sell all your stocks today, little rich girl?" Su Yu teased her. "No, it has nothing to do with that. Money and stocks are just worldly possessions." "What? What's going on?" "Handsome Su, I'm worried about my mommy." "Your mommy?" Su Yu froze when he heard Pudding mention Huamin. "My mommy is pregnant. I don't know where Hua Xiqian took her." Pudding looked sad. "Hua Xiqian is a bad guy, but he's good to your mommy. I've seen it with my own eyes." "Don't worry, Pudding. Your mommy won't be bullied." Su Yu comforted her. "No, Handsome Su, it's not like that. It's not that simple." "Then what do you think, Pudding?" Su Yu knew that Pudding had a lot on her mind. She looked sad because she had a lot on her mind. "Hua Xiqian is good to my mommy, and he won't hurt her under normal circumstances. But don't forget, he has dual personality disorder." Su Yu's expression changed slightly. "Pudding, how did you know about this?" "I overheard it when my mommy and daddy were talking. The gist of it is that Hua Xiqian is good when he's normal, but when his second personality appears, he becomes a completely different person. When that happens, he won't be able to control himself even if he doesn't want to hurt my mommy." Su Yu panicked when he heard Pudding's words. Hua Xiqian's double identity disorder wasn't a secret in their circle. Everyone knew about it. Although Su Yu had never seen Hua Xiqian in his bird form, he could imagine how cruel he would be. "What should we do?" Su Yu was panicking as well. "My grandpa said that my daddy will wake up soon. It'll be great if my daddy wakes up. He'll definitely know how to find mommy." "Well, I hope so." Su Yu sighed slightly. "I hope mommy and the baby are okay." Pudding looked out of the car window gloomily. The two of them then went to the stock exchange hall and did a series of operations. Actually, to them now, even if the Hua Corporation vanished into thin air, it didn't matter anymore, because it was just an empty shell left behind by Hua Xiqian. Hua Xiqian didn't even care anymore. After that, Su Yu took Pudding to Imperial Star. Su Yu went to a meeting while Pudding sat in the office waiting for him. He browsed through the financial news. "President Su, are you there?" A woman's voice came from outside the door. "He's not here," Pudding replied in her baby voice. Nye Lingxian was slightly surprised. She knocked on the door and walked in. She saw the little girl sitting in Su Yu's office chair, looking very cool. "Little Bean, or Pudding?" Nye Lingxian smiled in a friendly manner. "Are you Annie Cece's older sister? You know me?" Nye Lingxian seemed very happy. "You've had a lot of shows recently. The media said that you're now the #1 actress in Imperial Star," Pudding said calmly. "Don't listen to the media. I'm not that good. You haven't told me yet. Are you Pudding or Little Bean?" "Guess." Pudding suddenly played a prank. To be honest, among all the women who liked Su Yu, Pudding didn't dislike Pudding because she didn't think this Annie was fake. "What's the reward if I guess right?" Nye Lingxian was very playful and continued to joke with Pudding. "If you guess right, I'll let you have lunch with Handsome Su and me. What do you think?" Pudding seemed to know what she was thinking. Chapter 3050. "Wow, you guess what I was thinking. You're so smart," Nye Lingxian praised. "It's not hard. Most of the Annies at Imperial Star, like Handsome Su. It's no secret. After all, everyone wants to get close to their boss. Handsome Su is young, handsome, rich, and has a powerful family background. It's normal that so many women like him. Then you must think I'm one of the women with the same goal as them, right?" Nye Lingxian smiled. "You're much better than them." "How so?" "At least you're not as fake as them." "Huh? How can you tell?" "You don't know me." It was the first time Nye Lingxian discussed such a profound topic with such a young child. She suddenly found it interesting. "Because you've never caused trouble for my mommy." Niao Lingxian was slightly surprised. Then, she suddenly understood. So, the women I met before all caused trouble for Dr. Hua. Yeah, they think handsome Su didn't accept them because he likes my mommy. They don't know if it's because they're not good enough. Sometimes, women really like those who think they're smart. Looking at the little girl who spoke like an adult, Niao Lingxian thought she was adorable. Do you want to eat cake? A fan came to visit me just now and gave me a delicious matcha cake. You'll get fat if you eat cake. You're a female star. How can you be so careless with your figure? Pudding scolded. Ha! I know. You're Pudding. Niao Lingxian smiled like a flower. Pudding? You're Pudding, right? How did you know? Pudding was puzzled. Because I heard that little bean likes cake. Since you don't like it, you must be Pudding. Niao Lingxian was proud. How did you know? Where did you hear such private matters from? Cece told me. Okay. Auntie Cece unintentionally sold me out. Pudding looked helpless. Just then, the office door was pushed open. Su walked in. Pudding, are you hungry? What are we eating? Handsome Su, can I invite this Annie to have lunch with us? Pudding was a woman of her word. What's going on? Su glanced around and found that Niao Lingxian was also in the office. Pudding ignored Su and asked Niao Lingxian, Auntie Niao, what do you want to eat? I'm fine with anything. If you say anything, then I'll order my favorite food. Pudding said, no problem. Handsome Su, I want to eat seafood. Pudding said, okay, whatever you want to eat. Little ancestor, let's go. Su walked over dotingly, picked up Pudding with one hand, and walked out. Seeing how Su treated Pudding like his own child, Niao Lingxian suddenly felt envious of Pudding. To be able to receive such love from Su, he had thought that there would only be the three of them. During lunch, Tang Chuan and Qin Ning arrived shortly after Su received call. Pudding was very close to Qin Ning and sat in her arms. Auntie, when will second grandpa arrive? Soon. Your dad's surgery is about to start, right? Yeah, about tomorrow. Pudding nodded. That's good. I hope everything goes well. Qin Ning sighed. Auntie, when second grandpa comes back and dad recovers, will you go back to the States? After Pudding asked this, Tang Chuan immediately turned his head and looked at Qin Ning nervously. This was the question he had always wanted to ask, but didn't dare to. Qin Ning seemed to have been back for a long time. Was she going to go back with her father this time? Chapter 3051. We'll see how it goes. Qin Ning's words were vague. She didn't say she was leaving or not. Whoa, if Qin Ning leaves, someone will feel bad. Su teased. Humph. Nonsense. I don't feel bad, Tang Chuan said stubbornly. Keep bragging. Pudding glanced at Tang Chuan in disdain. Really? I'm not bragging. I really don't feel bad. If she goes back, I'll go with her. Tang Chuan laughed. Su, Pudding, look at how useless you are. Qin Ning was a little embarrassed. What's the point of having a future? I still want a wife. During the meal, Niao Lingxian didn't say much because she wasn't familiar with Tang Chuan and Qin Ning. So, she just ate in silence. After the meal, Pudding said, Handsome Su, you can take Auntie Nieb back to the company. What about you? I'll go see Daddy with Uncle Tang and Annie. Okay, I'll go to the hospital to see you guys, Su said. Then, they separated and Niao Lingxian got into Su's Lamborghini. You didn't eat much. Su said. No, I didn't eat much anyway. Tang Chuan is like that. We've been friends for years, and he speaks casually. Most of what he says is nonsense. Yeah, I can see that you guys are close. Su smiled and continued driving. President Su, you're so good to Pudding, Niao Lingxian said enviously. I'm so good to her too. Ha, you're funny. Niao Lingxian was amused by Su. It's true. I've watched those two little fellows grow since they were young. They're like my own daughters. It seems you really like Dr. Hua, Niao Lingxian said in a low voice. Yes, I like her very much. Su never hid his love for Hua Min. From the past until now, he had openly admitted it. Dr. Hua is really outstanding. I think he's worth it, Niao Lingxian said. Your sister will arrive in the afternoon, right? Su didn't answer, but asked her another question. Yes, it should be. All right, we're here. You can go back to the company. I'll go to the hospital. Su slowly parked the car in front of the company. Thank you, President Su. You're welcome. Go ahead. Nie Lingxian got out of the car, and Su drove away. This scene happened to be witnessed by a female artist from the same company. Sister Xian, did President Su send you back? Yes. Did you guys go on a date? The female artist asked nosily. No, we just had lunch together. You're amazing. President Su rarely has lunch with us artists. Only Jiantong has this privilege. What's going on? Are you and our boss? No. President Su and I are purely in a superior and subordinate relationship. Haha, you're blushing. It's true. Don't talk nonsense. I don't want to cause trouble for President Su because of me. I know. But to be honest, President Su hasn't had a girlfriend. You have a chance. You have to work hard. Now that you're so popular, beautiful, and low-key, maybe you could develop a relationship with President Su. Forget it. Don't even think about it. President Su won't like me. Nie Lingxian was very self-aware. Cici had told her many times before. Suyu's love for Huamin was almost stubborn. In the hospital corridor. How is it? Old man, have you developed the antidote? Suyu still liked to call the professor old man. However, not only was the professor not angry, but he also seemed to like Suyu. Chapter 3052. Of course. Do you think I'm on the same level as those quacks in your country? The professor said proudly. Whoa, you're so arrogant. Handsome Su, you can't talk to him like that. Little Bean scolded Suyu, which was rare for her. Little Bean, you're helping an outsider. Are you stupid? Suyu rubbed Little Bean's face with his finger. I'm serious. He's an elder. You can't be so rude. Okay. Little girl. Suyu laughed. Sir, how's my brother? When can he have his surgery? Qi Ning asked. Tomorrow morning will be fine. Hearing the professor's words, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. After leaving the hospital, the professor took the twins back to South Hill Manor. On the way, Jixin video called him. Hello, Uncle Jixin. Hello, Pudding. I'm Little Bean, you big idiot. Jixin, Uncle, did your business trip go well? Pudding tilted her head and asked. Yeah, everything's fine. How's your daddy? He can have his surgery tomorrow morning. Don't worry, Uncle. Okay, I'll go to the hospital to see him. Okay, Uncle. By the way, how's Grandma? She's not in a good mood. I asked Bella to take care of her. Okay, as your future auntie, there's nothing wrong with taking care of your mother-in-law, Little Bean said. Jixin, Uncle, be careful. Come back soon, Pudding reminded him. Okay, I miss you too. I'll bring you gifts. Thank you, Uncle. Then, Little Bean hung up the video call. Sis, did you notice? Little Bean asked mysteriously. What did I notice? Didn't you notice that Uncle Jixin is a little stupid sometimes? Little Bean asked in a low voice. Pudding, I used to wonder why Mommy has such a stupid brother when she's so smart. His brain is really slow. Pudding, it's okay. He's not that stupid. He's not hopeless. Haha. Sis, you're a high-level hater. Little Bean laughed. But you're right. Uncle isn't as smart as Mommy, but Auntie is. So Auntie and Mommy are both Grandpa's children. Pudding deduced. The two of you are so smart. The professor listened to his granddaughter's conversation and was full of admiration. When she left the hospital, Qi Ning was on her period and her stomach hurt a little. Tang Chuan saw that she did not look well, so he took her directly to the gynecologist for a checkup and took some Chinese medicine. Unfortunately, this scene was seen by Tang Chuan's mother's friend. Later, when the news reached Tang Chuan's mother, it completely changed its meaning. Mrs. Tang, I really did see your son take a girl to the gynecology department. I don't know if they're going to get an abortion. Abortion? Mrs. Tang's expression was terrible. Yeah, young people these days don't care about these things at all. They only care about temporary pleasure. My son is like that. Last year, he impregnated 3 girls. 2 of them took the money and had abortions. The other one refused to have an abortion and wanted to give birth to the baby. It was obvious that they were trying to extort money from us. They only agreed after we gave them an extra $1 million. Mrs. Tang was silent after hearing this, but her expression became even colder. I saw Chuan treat that girl well. He was supporting her the entire time. Hearing this, Tang Chuan's mother couldn't sit still anymore. She stood up and walked out. "Madam, get the car. I want to see that girl," Mrs. Tang said sternly. "You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.